Today's episode is brought to you by the best store in the universe. Thousands of shirts, but not really. Shop now and support the show at MaddoxRules.com. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from first dates to best debates. With over 6 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Thank you, Maddox.
And joining us again is Deputy Moderator, Therapist Kelly.
Hi.
Welcome back to the show. Guys, we've got an exciting show this week. And for the last week, because this is our finale episode. You've tuned in, you've caught us live. If you're watching us in the chat room, you're welcome. But this is a big show, and I think I saved the best for last, Ron. We talked about this.
It's a big show.
It's a big show. We've got a packed show, and the debate this week is, for the final debate, is what's the most perfect thing about Maddox? And I think that's a very fitting, as a tribute. I think this whole show should be a tribute to me.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real short podcast.
No, I don't think so. Because I was thinking, what could be a topic, what could be a debate that we could really,
So what's the most perfect thing about Maddox?
About me, yes, that's
okay,
right.
So in your world, there's multiple perfect things, and you're going to debate us on which one is the most perfect.
Yeah, is it like my keen insight? Is it, my strength, my upper body strength, my lower body strength, my calves? My calves are really nice. Is it my intuition?
I can honestly say I have never seen your calves, and I think I have lived a better life because of it.
You know what, Ron?
I kind of want to see.
You want to see my calves?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. If we get enough super chats. Yeah, and we're going to be reading some of the chats from the chat room. If you guys are watching live, we've got Paul Flart. We got Paul Flart in the chat room. We got some super chats. We got one from for $5 from RGB Velvet. Thank you, RGB Velvet. It says donate the podcast. My bro Armenian. Matt Sweeney for $2. And I should give a proper introduction. Welcome back, Therapist Kelly. Welcome to the show. Long-time guest, fan favorite. People loved you the first time you came on the show immediately because it was such a fun. And Kelly, I got to say, is one of the guests who did the most homework of any other show, of any other guest.
Anal.
She sent me a list of 30 different debate topics. Mm-hmm. And by the way, guys, I brought in those debate topics. I have them on my screen. I don't have them on paper, but there's a printout floating around somewhere. We have over 17 pages of debate topics that we didn't get to on this show. 17 fucking pages. I didn't even realize I had written that much. And by the way, that's trimmed. I trimmed it down from the ones we've already covered from 21 pages. So we have so many debate topics.
So those are going to be tangent debates. But the core debate is going to be what's the most perfect thing about Maddox.
That's right, yeah.
Wow.
See, I thought I was here for what's the worst place to have diarrhea? Because that's the one I read on there. I don't know what this perfect thing is. Yeah, that was the one I was excited about.
Look, not all the debates
Your
are...
car, obviously, because then you're reminded of your own mistake.
Oh, no.
Because then you got to clean it up.
No, I'm going to go on a date. Imagine if you're at somebody's house. That's worse.
No, you could leave that house. Your car, you got to sit in that spot for the rest of the time you've had that car.
Are we really having the diarrhea debate?
I'm just saying, it's not really a debate.
Yes, we started it.
Okay, so I should also introduce, we have another guest. This one's a fan favorite. You may recognize her or him. This is a longtime guest. It's some breaking news. Please welcome to the show, Taylor Nikolai. Taylor.
Yay.
Welcome back to the show. Over here, Taylor. Over here, yeah.
He's used to that spot.
We've got, and here is, all right, Taylor is, oh my gosh, Taylor, you're knocking everything. Taylor's doing a floss dance. Already going to delete this.
Already
Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Do I not get headphones this time?
Yeah, you can grab a pair of headphones right there.
And you know what? In honor of Taylor coming back, I actually have a huge surprise. I think you guys are going to be excited. But I actually went out. I got pizza for everybody.
Hey, Ron.
So this is actually from me. This is from me. I went out and got this pizza for everybody. So.
With your own money.
You're welcome. Yeah,
I would like to say Maddox always brings good snacks, but today he went next level.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people think that Maddox got the pizza, but actually, I got the pizza. This is all. I got the pizza. So
Are you sure about that, Ron?
This is from me. Yeah,
really?
buddy.
What's the place you got it from?
Crispy Crust.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What does it cost for a large pizza? I'm just curious.
You know, money's no object to me. Okay. I kind of just said, let it ride, baby.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't really check out, but all right.
It's just because I care about you guys.
Thank you. All right. Well, cool. You guys, so longtime fan favorite Taylor Nikolai in the chat room. We've got a
I don't know if
shit
I'm a fan
ton.
favorite.
You well, that's
I was
true.
a fan. What is like below favorite, but not like they hate you?
Fan tolerated?
Yeah.
tolerated.
There we go.
Our most tolerated guest, Taylor Nikolai.
The begrudging acceptance
Right.
Yeah.
that Taylor Nikolai earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you've run with the pickleball thing, that was not a flash in the pan. You are straight up killing it in the world of pickleball.
I mean, I exited the podcast and I went pro.
I mean, I know you're joking, but like, I kind of, if you told me like in 3 years, like, hey, you know Taylor's playing in the Olympics, I'd be like, yeah, that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I could see that shit happening. Also, we should introduce another longtime.
We got another one?
We got another one. Another longtime fan favorite. You guys know him sometimes as a fuckboy. Mikey Bolts. Please welcome Mikey Bolts. Mikey Bolts. Oh, Mikey Bolts. Let's see. Oh boy, we got Mike. Is Mikey in house? All right. Well, maybe.
I don't think he's here.
Maybe not. Well,
I don't think Mikey's here.
who do we? Seriously, Mikey didn't.
No, I don't think Mikey made it.
Oh shit, man. Well, who do we got? Do we have anyone else? Anyone else who can step in? I don't.
Oh, I see one. I see someone coming.
Yeah, someone come. Oh, hey. Wait a second. This guy looks familiar.
What's up?
Hey.
Whoa!
Hey. Wait a second.
Wow!
Wait a second. This guy. I recognize this guy. This is your Raka. Raka. Raka Ali. Hey, welcome back to the show, Raka Ali.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Holy shit, full house. And guys, that's not all. We have so many more guests coming in, so many more guests in studio. I don't know how it's possible to have more people in this studio.
Oh, this will be a very disorganized show.
You know what? Wrong, Taylor. All right, already off to a bad start. But, Rucka, thank you for joining us this week. Yeah, we got longtime moderator. What was your final? What was the?
I don't remember a single ranking.
You were like the rear. You were like the first hand on staff at one point.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
It's like you never left. We've been playing that clip, that sound drop the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
And yet somehow it hasn't been long enough, you know?
Guys, we're fitting in so many people. We got 5 live mics on here. All right. If you guys let us know how the audio sounds, let us know how everything sounds, because this is a lot of moving parts for this show. But anyway, Rucka, welcome back to the show. Ron, always longtime host. Both of you guys, longtime host of the show. We've got people in studio. Therapist Kelly, welcome back. Taylor, welcome back. So we're gonna start out this debate. You know, this is the last show.
Mm-hmm.
I brought in.
Why is this the last? Why is this the last show?
This is the last show.
The last one?
The last one, yeah. The
Wow.
last best debate, yeah.
Man.
So I'm going to talk a little bit later in the show about the future podcasts that I'm going to do. We're going to still be doing bonus episodes because there's a ton to record. Actually, we have one, Rucka, that we recorded with me, you, and Mikey Bolts that I still haven't released.
Wow.
And I got one with Ron that I still haven't released.
Oh, tight.
Ron, Mikey, and Taylor, and Zach Waldman, who's actually also going to pop into the studio at some point. We've got such a big show, so many people coming into the show.
I'm starting a King Kong podcast.
You're just talking, you know what? Fucking.
It's called King Kong Zero.
King Kong Zero?
Yeah,
How dare you,
I don't remember
Taylor.
the name of your.
It's Godzilla versus Podcast Zero.
I don't know what that means. Is that some inside joke
It's
that
a
Godzilla
reference.
fans know?
It's a reference to Godzilla versus Monster Zero, only the best Godzilla movie ever made. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Play some voicemail or something.
Yeah. Well, we got a shit ton of voice.
So anyway, you know what? Are we just going to skip over hey, how you doing? By the way, Maddox, I got to say, last time I was here, I remember telling you, make some effing content.
Yeah.
Make some videos.
Yeah.
And I got to say, whew, you've been on fire. Have you released like one video since I was last here?
No, 2. You know what? Fucking Rucka Ali here. Is it Rucka Ali?
That was so funny the first time. I can see why you brought it back.
So I released a video last night. He doesn't check. Are you subscribed?
No, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, the earthquake plan.
Yeah, the earthquake planning.
Finally releasing some content.
A little bit of something, something for you. But that's actually one of the big reasons the podcast is ending is because I need to focus on videos and writing and some other stuff. Look, podcasting is really fun. This show.
Yeah, I got to say, like, Ron, you obviously are looking forward to finally get some work done because it takes so much work. You got to dedicate your whole life to keep this podcast going.
I actually don't do shit. He does do all the work.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, we got that same sentiment in voicemail. I got a voicemail all the way from Ireland. We're gonna play right now. I'll be playing voicemail all throughout this episode. We're not gonna do the normal format of the show. Although I do want to hear what you guys think is the most perfect thing about Maddox, me. So this is a big topic. We can talk about this for hours, for days. We're talking about Taylor doing this as a 17-hour stream, something like that.
No.
Okay, Taylor. Here's a voicemail from Ireland. Listen to this.
I don't have a buzzer.
Oh, yeah, well.
You want to share mine?
Yeah, there you go.
Hello, Lord Maddox. It's Dr. 10-inch here, calling all the way from Northern Ireland. How are you now? What a journey it has been. What an exploration of some of the worst food America has to offer. It's been quite the trip, but I know it's a lot to ask of somebody to work, up to an hour and a half every 2 weeks. I mean, it's tough going. Yeah, True. If you're Irish, you'd be able to do 2 a week and keep a full-time job, just like I do. But unfortunately, you're Armenian, so it just means you're as hairy as you are lazy.
Jesus.
To Robbie, Bobby, Bibbidi, Cocky, Sapdoggy, Locky, Rockin' and Talkin' Boppy, I hope you're doing all right, man. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you got projects going, man, because I get this picture of you in your room alone with your one succulent. You're just sucking flies out of the air with your Hoover, and I don't know, man. You probably stink of homemade deodorant. Get out there, spend a little, enjoy it. Go down to the chemist, get yourself deodorant, live on the edge. Yeah, it's been great, guys. I really have enjoyed this show. It has been really made my Tuesdays quite interesting. Mikey Bolts is great crack. Treadmere can suck my crack. And whatever happened to Rucka? Is he doing okay? I wonder where he is now. I bet he's in a diner now giving out about the coffee. Anyway, guys, really enjoyed the show. Maddox, I'll send you the results of the match later today. And I really hope you live long, fulfilling lives. All right, guys. Slán. One last time. Punch a Welshman or whatever.
Yeah, well, close enough. Thank you. That's our caller from Ireland. He's been calling in for at least a few episodes. Rucka, he asked about you. What have you been up to?
Got my coffee right here.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? I've never sat from this angle before. Your laptop is disgusting.
What's wrong with my laptop?
You got three stickers of yourself and then Garfield the cat masturbating.
Yeah, that's one of my friends drew that Garfield the cat. He's not masturbating. He's finished.
We got the therapist here.
Okay,
I'm gonna analyze this.
That's our first debate. Okay, if you're in the process of orgasm, that's no longer masturbation because it is just orgasm, and orgasms can happen from sex or masturbation.
Interesting.
I like the debate topic. If you jerked off your clone, would it be considered a hand job or masturbation?
Or masturbation, yeah. That's one of the.
Such a good topic.
I think it would be. I think it's still a hand job because I think your clone.
Do you think you got one more episode in you, guys?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. You guys play your cards right. What if I'm just trolling you guys? What if I'm trolling all you idiots? You guys never think? You ever think that?
Think that every day.
Yes. Maybe I'm trolling everyone. So Kelly, when you sent me that original list, this is this is some of the best debate topics I've seen. There's at least like 40 on here. And you said you broke them down into topics you can and can't participate.
Exactly.
So she's like, so here's some of the topics that Kelly suggested a long time ago. Are clothes really necessary? Infidelity, does it help or hurt your relationship? Should you tell people if they have something in their teeth? The top worst people to sit next to on a plane. Actually, I think did we do that or we talked about it, didn't we?
Remember that one.
Do men really want women without makeup? What constitutes cheating? Is privacy overrated? So you span the gamut of interpersonal relationship style debates to ones that are kind of current with what's topical and what's going on in politics about privacy. I mean, that's a big one: privacy versus security, or privacy versus safety. But yeah, this is one of the most impressive lists I've ever seen. But then this we have so many topics on here. Oh, Lord Matthew. Our developer, Lord Matthew, he sent a bunch of topics, too. And Rucka, the final debate you were on, the last episode, came from Lord Matthew, which is, does the Illuminati exist? Yeah. Rucka also suggested, man, that sounds so much, that is so consistent like the sound drop.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Lord Matthew suggested, should guns be banned in the USA? Do transgender people have a mental illness? Have feminists gone too far? Is MGTOW right for men? Do aliens exist? Was it right for the USA to nuke Japan in World War II? What's the best in 2018, being straight or gay? Very, very uncomfortable laughter over there. I don't know.
Still deciding that.
Yeah, he's uncomfortable. Is Iceland wrong to make Down syndrome extinct? Holy shit, is that true?
Sounds like somebody's sort of putting the cart before the horse. You know, like they passed these laws. Like they passed a law in Ohio saying, wait, where do they go? Retardation?
Yeah.
Can I say that word? I know this is 2019.
I'll bleep it.
All right. Well, Ohio passed a law saying if you know that your fetus is going to be mentally disabled and you get an abortion, that is illegal. So you just get an abortion without finding out, in other words. Because once you know, now you're... So, and then people tweeting at me saying, oh, it's eugenics. It's eugenics. No, it's not. It's individual expectant mothers saying at 6 weeks in or whatever, I'm going to terminate this. That is not eugenics. That is not rounding up people and telling them how to behave and killing them off because they're undesirable. Maddox, your people have been through real eugenics.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this equivocation?
What?
I've been on here 5 minutes. I'm already bringing up the tough question.
No, you know what? This podcast, eugenics comes up an awful lot of on this podcast. I don't know why. Like probably over 60-70% of our topics.
Really?
Towards eugenics. Yeah, you know, okay, so the question is Iceland wrong to make Down syndrome extinct? Ultimately, it should be the parents' decision if they want to raise the child with Down syndrome. But no, they're not wrong to want to, you know, well, no, it is a eugenics. It's a eugenics argument. I see the benefit, you know, I see the benefit.
You think you approach every issue with, like, how can I control people and engineer society? You need to be looking at it from the perspective of a person.
Okay.
You know how you make decisions every day and you act according to your own judgment?
Yeah.
Everyone else needs to be free to do the same. There it is. That, no, and
so you're,
ding, ding, ding.
You're basically asking, like, individually, like, are you down with Down syndrome?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the individual choice? What about the individual choice of the person being born? Like, if you've given the choice,
they're a baby.
Yeah, but nobody chose to be born.
Look, now we're debating abortion. We're not debating if you should be free to, once abortion is legal, which it is, should you then be allowed to make a decision based on the medical condition of the fetus?
Comedy podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
How did they start this? It's amazing.
This is what happens.
This is what happened.
Yeah, this is what happens. Okay, so heavy, very funny comedy right at the top.
Well, you brought up Iceland making people extinct. What are you talking about?
I tend to. I mean, that was on my list. I'm just reading.
Well, you can cross that one off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a shit ton of super chats coming in. RGB Velvet for $5. Thank you, RGB Velvet. And then he sent another one for $2. Says Nikolii. That's how you spell Nikolai. I will cut the song. Matt Sweeney for $2 says, I'm already not emotionally prepared for this. Matt Sweeney, by the way, thank you for reminding us to record. It is a common theme on the show that sometimes we don't record the episodes, so it's completely pointless.
It's going, right?
It's going.
It is recorded, cool. Thank God.
I mean, I don't know if it's plugged in, but it's recording.
Caleb Atfield says, Kiss Crew Club represent. We will never forget you, Maddox. I love your work, Rucka. Taylor, try to be a better human.
I'm trying.
Hey, we got so many people coming in.
I gotta tell you, I was in the green room over there. I can't believe some of the people you were able to book for this. Whew.
Yeah.
Man, if you put this much work into your work and writing and career as you put into the guests you were able to acquire today, You'd be very successful.
Thanks, Rucka. That's the thing. People say, they're like, oh, Maddox, how come you can't come in and record for an hour a week?
Yeah, why is that?
Because it takes more than a fucking hour to produce a show.
What do you mean?
shitheads.
We're live on the air right now.
14. Do you know how? Just think of the logistics. Most people can't even get 4 fucking people to go to a movie. Are you kidding me? Imagine like trying to get 4 of your friends to go to one fucking movie, and every single week after 138 episodes, I've had almost 138.
I don't have to imagine it because I'm too busy creating content. So when I do a podcast, someone else can deal with the logistics.
Right.
And that's what you should have someone doing for you instead of doing everything yourself.
Yeah, well, I do sometimes, but I also... What were
Is
you
this
saying,
the
Ron?
debate of like what you think is the most
Yeah, what's the
perfect
most
thing
perfect
about
thing
Maddox?
about me, Ron?
Exactly.
Because you're
kinda
failing
like
so
this.
far.
Is time management and creative output.
Rucka, I was hanging out with a good friend of mine, Nas, the other day, and she was like, wow, you put out so
rapper?
much content. Yeah, the rapper.
Well, compared to him, you've been releasing content.
Thanks. I'll take it. That's the closest thing to a compliment Rucka's ever given in his life. I produce 2 podcasts. I'm on the so I'm doing the Godzilla podcast, the Best Debate
You
podcast.
produce that?
I released. Well, yeah, I master it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You hit the master button?
I look for someone who doesn't create any content. I'm sweating already. I'm
I
so
create
mad.
no content.
Yeah,
Let's add up what I've released since we last did an episode versus you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Let's not. Yeah. Anyway, Kelly, I'm going to throw it to you.
Sure.
Welcome back to the show. Very delightful guest.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember Therapist Kelly.
Therapist Kelly.
Yes.
Not only a dear friend of the show, but she's actually the target Maddox demographic, right? Like professional working women, maybe with a
Right.
child or two.
Uh-huh.
But smart,
demographic.
thoughtful. I think she's
smart.
Really she's everything that you're reaching these days.
Yeah. Definitely my target demo. Smart, thoughtful, beautiful, hardworking, successful.
Yes.
Therapist Kelly. What's the most perfect thing about me?
The list is pretty long.
Yeah,
but
that's
if
right. It is long.
If I have to just pick one, I would say, when I leave here, I actually feel really good about myself.
Hey, you know what? That's a real good compliment.
You mean like comparing yourself to
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Where he's at, and you're like, man, I'm not doing
I'm
that
like,
bad.
thank
I'm doing
God.
pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, that's a pretty good compliment. I'll take it. I like that a lot.
In all honesty, I love your show. I think you're so creative, so brilliant. I think that you have an amazing following. You're very inspiring. So that's the truth.
they're not that amazing. But thank you.
I'm with you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes.
Taylor, I'm going to throw it to you. Welcome back, Taylor Nikolai. We miss you, buddy. We miss you on the doing the news, our news babe of the show.
Yeah, I was watching that clip that was playing beforehand, and I was like, hey, I do have those thoughts. I was talking about pizza at Chinese buffets and how that pisses me off, and I was like, I
it's
forgot
awful.
I have that thought.
Yeah. You don't want anytime you have like an ethnic restaurant and they have any other ethnic food, like Italian food with taquitos, an Italian restaurant, you are guaranteed to have diarrhea. Anyway,
Diarrhea again.
Worst place to have it's in your car.
that's a mini debate we had at the top of the show. If you guys are just joining us, we had the mini diarrhea debate at the top of the show. But Taylor, I'm going to throw it to you now. What is the most perfect thing about Maddox? Yours truly. This is a show. We're gonna have just a real fair, a real honest debate.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing the make fun of you thing or like an actual like compliment thing.
Actual compliments. Of course, it's actual compliments. Everyone's very sincere on this show.
What I can say about Maddox is that he is a listener. He is someone.
I almost did a spit take.
Maddox is someone that he not only listens to anything you have to say, but he also, because he hears everybody's stories, he has infinity stories from all the stories that he's been told. So, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so you always know a guy who did something.
Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, here's the thing. Okay, so I'm always saying things like, a friend of mine did this, or I went out with this girl who did this. So oftentimes, first of all, I do have a lot of friends. That's not even a humble brag. That's a regular brag. But also,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have this one friend, this other friend.
Yeah, this other
Anytime
I have a lot of fucking
any
friends.
argument comes up, you're like, well, all my Democrat friends say this. I have Republican friends. You got
Yeah, I fucking-
you got
oh,
a
sorry,
friend,
sorry, I'm from
a friend
Utah.
for every situation.
Sorry, I'm so diverse. Sorry, I'm like fucking. I grew up in a conservative state.
Well,
and
this
then I'm
is
in
this
liberal.
is how you set. This is how he sets therapist Kelly. This is how he sets it up. You're like a couples counselor.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
This is how he sets it up so that he always wins, quote unquote. He says he paints everybody else as an ideologue. He says, oh, that person over there is a Democrat. That person over there is a Republican. But me, I just look at the facts. I'm not tainted by any sort of philosophical principle. I just look at the facts.
I don't even know if that's a slight against me. I mean, that sounds like a very reasoned approach towards life and politics.
Yeah, when you're not referring to any generalizations or principles for how to proceed, you just follow what seems right,
Well,
which is, of course, your emotions because you're not thinking.
No, fucking, I'm the least emotional person I know. I'm never emotional. I'm way too rational.
Yeah,
but
you're
that's the problem.
You're super rational right now.
Yeah, I am really fucking rational. Ron.
Fucking emotional. Fuck you guys.
Anyway, I'm not emotional. So
Were you into all the philosophy stuff when you first started the podcast?
Always.
I didn't know if that was like a newer thing.
No, well, speaking publicly, getting out here, I think being on this show was part of my development as a commentator.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
want to
Your
go
voice.
back and like listen to those early episodes to
Did
see
you
like
argue a lot with your teachers in high school?
Was I loud with them?
Like, did you argue a lot with them?
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see you being just like the fucking worst to it. Like the
Yeah.
best, but also the worst.
Some teachers, I was their favorite. Some of them probably thought I was a little too loud.
When they called attendance and they were like, Rucka Rucka Ali, did you go, yeah?
all right,
I
guys.
think that'd be great.
They probably use like iPads now for that, right? In classrooms,
Yeah,
do
I
they
don't
have
think-
kids just like hit the iPad for their attendance?
They
or-
just send a text to the teacher.
Yeah,
Like,
they
yo,
just-
I'm here.
Oh boy, these kids with their technology.
They send a tweet.
You know what Maddox's problem is?
What?
Oh, God.
Is
Here
it
we
him?
go.
That's
Is it
not
the
the
perfect
debate, Rucka.
problem?
To Maddox, to Maddox, technology is the primary. So instead of writing content and then using technology to develop it and create it, to him, the technology kind of drives the car, so to speak. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's right at all.
I do feel like I'm in like a couple session here.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah,
I
this
really
is-
do.
I feel like
I really do.
I feel like I was here just yesterday, like on the show.
This is just a continuation of the conversation that started the first time I met Rucka. Yeah.
Oh, right, exactly.
It's never ended, and this all it's been.
whenever I listen to you guys on the podcast together, I'm always like, I don't know if they're actually fighting or not. I honestly
some
thought
fire
you
there.
guys were really
Taylor,
mad.
it sounds like we're really mad, and it sounds like we're really fighting because we are.
Yeah.
It's always a real,
Yeah.
it's always a real fight.
There's some heat.
No, Ron, I gotta throw it to you now. What is the most perfect thing about Maddox? What would you say?
There was a lot of different things I could go with, but I have to say, honestly, from deep down, the most perfect thing about Maddox is the fact that you just do not give a fuck.
Thank you, Ron. That's a great compliment. Thank you, Ron.
And I mean that entirely in the way you keep your household.
Yeah. Okay. What do you mean by that, Ron?
You put out chairs for all the people coming.
Yes.
This just happened. There is a metal folding chair, and I looked on it, and there was so much dust on the chair. And I was like, man, Maddox does not give a fuck.
Did you sit on it?
No, because there was so much dust on the chair. I was like, I'm not sitting on that
At
chair. I
least
sat
there
on
was
the
no
couch
diarrhea
instead.
on that.
Ron, you make your own toothpaste.
Actually, deodorant.
You
And
make
deodorant.
your own deodorant. You don't get to talk about what other people are weird about.
First of all,
you
that's
are
all.
complaining about dust?
That's all. Have you seen this fucking place? Have you seen it? He does not give a fuck about dust, and I
Ron,
think that's great.
dusted today. Okay. You
See, that's what makes it even worse. is that you tried.
The problem with dust is that there's no evidence that you did it. If I dust, it's gone, and no one will ever be like, hey, good job dusting,
Right,
because there's
right.
no dust and you don't think about it. But you only see it. It's a negative. It's always like, oh, you got some dust over there. Like, well, did you see the spots I got? No.
No.
Do I get any credit for the rest of the fucking house? What about the...
You live in the house. That's
well-
the credit you get.
yeah, Anyway, if someone
I
sits
do-
on it, the dust is gone.
But I do love how you just like, I walk in your house and I'm like, man, this is the house of a guy who just does not give a fuck.
Thank you.
Good for him.
Yeah. These are really great
Have the
compliments,
same.
guys.
You've had the same books on your one table for the amount of time we've been doing this podcast.
Change them.
And
But I
I'm
was
just
impressed. I opened the refrigerator. There was actual food in there. I was actually impressed.
Yeah.
And decent food.
That's right. I got some fucking. Oh, now wait till look at the expression on Rocco's face as soon as I say this word. I got some feta cheese in the fridge.
Yeah. You also got 2 Greek pizzas and a veggie pizza and a cheese pizza.
Yeah, we got.
there's a house pizza.
There's a house pizza.
I had
here.
No pepperoni.
No, fuck pepperoni. I got house.
You like fucking pepperoni?
He's a vegetarian now.
No, pepperoni's garbage.
Oh, yeah, he's a vegan.
Pepperoni's a garbage.
I
meat.
understand if you think pepperoni's garbage, but you do understand that other people don't think pepperoni is garbage.
Well, I don't care what other people think because I bought the pizza. Oh, I guess you did.
I got the pizza, guys. It's a common
okay.
misnomer that Maddox got the pizza.
I'm
It's
just
actually
glad
for
you
me.
didn't get some shitty Domino's. That's how I know it wasn't Maddox.
Almost got fucking Domino's, Rucka, but I just imagine him. I swear to God, I hear Rucka bitching before he even comes over, and I'm like, oh, you got Domino's again, man. And
Then it worked.
So what's your hate on Domino's?
It sucks.
I mean, it does give diarrhea.
It tastes worse the first time.
Hey, we got a super chat from Flohammed for $5. Says, great seeing the gang one last time. Kirk deserves a promotion before the show ends. Also, thanks for all the tips. Ron, except for the teak bath mats. Kirk Wilcox in the chat room. Thank you, Kirk. Couldn't be here today.
Yeah, nice of you to make it, Kirk.
Yeah, thank you, Kirk. For $1.99, thank you, Kirk. Says, thanks for all the times you had me on to prove you wrong. I don't think we've ever had you on to prove me wrong. And we got one from Apostolos Constantino for €2. Says, is there feta cheese in your fridge? You rock. Yeah, there is, buddy. Yeah, you know what, Kirk? We will give you a promotion. Let's give promotion to Kirk right now. And then I want to introduce some more guests. We have so many guests in studio.
Am I not doing the debate? Was that my?
You gave me your fucking backhanded.
I mean, if you have another one,
backhanded. It was a blatant insult.
He wants to talk more about abortions and eugenics.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
What was the what's the most perfect?
most perfect
You know what
thing
it
about
is?
Maddox?
No,
Yeah.
this
Yes.
is true. You know how when something is brand new, it's perfect.
Yes.
You are brand new. You have not worn yourself out with working very hard or I mean, look at you. You're still like a child.
That's
You're
what he
still
does.
playing Pokemon Go to this very day.
I'm training.
You're still You're
It's
still
not playing. We're training.
Playing Xbox, Dreamcast, whatever,
Yeah.
Sega CD.
Yes, Dad. Go on.
You're brand new, so that's the most perfect thing about you.
Oh,
dude, Maddox, Rucker should be your dad. 'Cause
Yeah.
he is like full of positivity.
Oh my gosh, Rucka rides me harder than anyone in my life, including my dad. Maybe equivalent to my dad, but like,
This is a couples therapy.
I'm not
section.
kidding. I really feel like I should be paid right now.
yeah, Kelly. If we were
Don't we all?
if we were in a relationship, a guy and a girl,
Okay.
and for those who are just listening, I just gestured to Rucka.
I mean,
Um,
two
Which
guys
one
can
too?
be
Yeah.
married.
two guys.
See, he still makes like middle school 90s middle school jokes.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
a girl.
Oh, sorry.
Ah.
Yeah, well, you are.
It's brand new.
Look, I'm just
Brand
saying for instance. Okay, fine. We're both married as just a gay couple.
Okay.
Okay. So how would you assess this relationship, Kelly?
Oh, it's completely. He parentifies you. That's
Oh, really?
Oh.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Kelly. See,
Yeah.
you're
So I'm
parentifying
the
me.
top.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
No?
Weirdo. No.
It's not.
I don't know.
Wait,
Can you
wait, what is-
define
But
parentify?
it's yes. So he's basically the parent in the relationship. There's always like a parent in the couple relationship.
Interesting.
But it's completely dysfunctional.
This is why my girlfriend always calls me daddy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Does this
Yeah.
dynamic
Sorry.
translate to the bed?
Not usually, no. But maybe in this case it might.
So
I don't
we've
even know who
got-
half these guests are.
We've got so many people in studio. Let's introduce some more guests. We're gonna rotate out Kelly and Taylor just for
Back at the
a
boot,
bit,
huh?
yeah. Hang out in the green room. We'll have you guys back
I'm
on
gonna have
in a
you
bit.
back on, please.
Yes, definitely.
Ron
Thank you
Squad
guys.
checking in. I'm here for Ron only.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Taylor. And coming up next, we've got Robert. We got Robert Benford, has been on the show a couple times. Robert,
Yeah.
please welcome to the show.
Nice to
And
see you.
Christina, come on in. Have a seat.
Yeah.
Take a mic. What's up, buddy?
Oh,
Good to
who's
have
this
you,
little
man.
guy?
Who's this little puppy?
Yeah.
You named,
there's
named
your
him
mic
Rucka?
there, yeah. So we got a puppy in studio. This is chaos. This is chaos in the studio. If you guys are watching,
right there?
Oh yeah, you're
Chaos
good.
the dog?
Cool.
No, chaos.
That's a
the
cool
the
name.
concept.
This is Taco.
Taco?
Yeah.
That's kind of
I
racist.
gotta hold the microphone.
Yeah, you gotta hold it. Yeah, this is.
There you go. That's the nice casual
Okay.
grip.
Look, we're cutting.
Make sure you don't swallow it.
Oh yeah. I like the way that Robert is holding the mic right now. It's almost like a sword, like an Excalibur sword.
I don't have any mic.
It's only an Excalibur sword if he's like dead, and like that's
How are you supposed to
That's
hold
how
it?
you're buried. Like if you hold it with two hands and then the sword is down between you.
How are you supposed to hold a microphone?
Like the
Casually.
I don't know mic technique. I have no experience with mic technique.
Have you held
It's usually
things
on
before?
a stand.
There we go. That's it right there. One-handed.
Hey, Rob's got this. And welcome back, Christina Hepburn.
Hi.
From Love. Excuse me. Well, you're not doing that one anymore. Right?
I don't. Well, it still exists. I have a podcast called TNA
Talk
Sex.
Sex. That's what it is. Yes.
It's there. You can go listen. I'm still getting people on Facebook being like, "Come back," and they're listening to shows and learning things.
I listened to your show and learned some things. So I listened to an episode. I think you guys were talking about foot fetish. Or
Oh yeah, I love that. Was my episode idea.
Yeah, I listened to that a while ago. And it's still kind of a mystery to me because, and I think a lot of people. Do you know the most research I've done about foot fetish stuff is that it is something it
You just type foot fetish into YouPorn.
Yeah, maybe. But the most I've found about foot fetish is that the area of your brain that is associated with arousal and recognition of arousal is also associated with recognition of feet and hands, and that's why sometimes those signals get crossed. Right?
Okay.
Is that right?
I mean, that sounds great. I think my show and the intention was to kind of question, like, what are we calling a fetish? And of course, there are certain, I'm sure, extreme cases. But I think I was just raising the question of, like, couldn't we all, like, enjoy a foot lick? And there's sort of this stigma
Without
around
putting
it.
the word fetish behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're into feet.
Yeah, well, you're defeat, and you're like, it feels fucking great to have your foot rubbed.
Yeah.
Like, rub my foot.
What's with your mouth though?
Sure.
Robert, what about
yeah,
you?
has that happened
you
for
want me
you?
to-
That hasn't even happened, right?
No, I mean,
I think
No, I'm not really into
more
feet.
often, and it's wonderful. That's what I'm
Really?
here to report.
Is it?
Your whole body, frankly, it all feels good.
Huh.
Like, touch me everywhere.
What? Oh, well, wait, hold on. We got this. There we go.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've been touched everywhere yet. So.
Right. I
Hey,
know.
you know what? Before the end of the show, Rob will be touched everywhere.
Do you have like
Can I
a
touch
That's
your
why I'm
armpit?
here.
Can we do a little?
Go ahead. I've been.
Oh my God, this is getting erotic up in
Do you
here.
have
I do
a-
sweat a lot.
Christina's
so-
straight up
There's
putting her
those
fingers in
damp.
Rob's.
Have you two met before?
No, we have not met before.
I'm
We just
I'm
met 10
a
minutes ago.
professional cuddler, and so I massage
Me too.
people's armpits. Will you take a deep
I'm an
breath with me?
unprofessional
Let's
cuddler.
breathe
He's
together.
he's a very unprofessional cuddler. Well, this just got like.
Robert, do you have a diagram of like your
Like
body,
deodorant now.
and you
I'm
just
sure.
color in the part that's been touched?
What?
Like, do you have a diagram of your body where you just color in the parts that have been touched? So
I'm
when you-
working on that.
So when you go on a date, you'd be like, "Hey, these spots are still open." If you haven't,
I'm embarrassed to
still
say
a-
that I
like
have
a
not
lower
started on
back
that yet, but I've
version?
been thinking about that.
it feels like that's your next move.
An armpit
Yeah.
virgin.
So, Robert, I should also give you a proper introduction for people who are just tuning in, or if you guys haven't seen Robert on a previous episode. Robert does some of the funniest and weirdest videos, and you have an old school background from Newgrounds with stop motion animation.
Yes, I
Right?
started on Newgrounds.
Yes.
I'm one of the OG Newgrounds
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Sprinkles and Salad Fingers and all those people.
Yeah, David
Charlie
Firth.
Unicorn
Right.
and me.
Yeah. One of the old school, one of the classics. And Rob and I became friends. How did we meet, Rob? When was the
Robert.
Where did we?
It's Robert.
Oh, thank you, Rob.
Well, I used to be.
How do you feel about
I
that?
used
Are you
to frequent-
sensitive about Robert versus
Robert.
No, either one's fine. No
Well,
one.
you say
nobody
Rob.
calls
Either one-
me
oh,
a-
sorry.
Nobody
Ron.
calls
Oh, it's
me
not
a
either- oh,
Ron.
sorry.
Ron, Bob.
Oh,
Bab.
oh my
Nobody
God.
calls me a
Confusing.
Bob.
Oh, it's so
Bob.
confusing.
I thought you were talking about. I was like, why is he talking about Ron? Robert.
Some parentifying going on
Yeah,
right now.
thank you.
I like saying
Therapist
full
Kelly.
names.
Thank you, Therapist Kelly, for that
Yes.
that new word.
Thank you, Therapist
parentifying.
Kelly.
Have you heard
I
this?
just noticed, Rekka, you're wearing a
Where's
Taco Bell
therapist
shirt.
Kelly? I need help.
She's in
Taco.
the
Okay.
green room. Yeah. Okay. So you were saying
I used to frequent your page.
the best page in the universe.
Very
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, you want
Back in the
rough
long
Very
ago,
long time.
early 2000s, and
Yeah.
then 3 years ago, some guy who neither of us remember introduced us to each other and asked me to be on your show, and that happened to be 2 weeks before I was visiting LA.
Hey, and here we are.
And here we are.
And here we are.
And I slept in your house once.
Yeah, you did. you
Yeah.
did, yeah.
So now we're like, that means we're kind of friends.
Yeah,
So I have a friend.
Yeah, we're kind of friends. And so, who was giving me the shit earlier in the show? By the way, guys, we're debating what is the most perfect thing about Maddox. So think about what's the most perfect thing. Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
nice.
Talking about Newgrounds and old internet, like Maddox, when we first started like working and making appearances together, people would like tell me like, "Yo, man, I grew up watching you and Maddox," and I was like, Maddox is like 10 years older than me. And he was famous for like 10 years before me on the internet, whatever you call that, famous. And then I realized, those few years, like 2006, your book came out. 2008, I had, a viral video, as they called it back then. Those 2 years seemed like a lifetime to me. But to the average Joe out there, we come from the same era. Isn't that kind of wild?
That is wild and totally inaccurate.
Do we still not call it viral videos?
We came from the same
No.
era, kind of.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What's inaccurate?
Because everything that goes viral, it's like what constitutes viral anymore? Like you have to have like 20 million views to be viral.
Well, viral, no, I mean, still, you can have a post that goes viral, like get 100,000 views, but that will last you, like it'll be a blip in the radar.
Right.
Like it'll be
Yeah, you need like a
day or two.
million. Do you need a million to matter?
Even a million, it doesn't matter.
I like
It's
to
not,
think that we all matter even without the views.
No.
I appreciate
Taylor would very strongly disagree, Ron. But
you do. You matter to your mother.
Yeah. Oh, that's the worst kind of mattering. That's the
At least
mattering.
you have that.
Yeah. Well, that's the mattering that's. I'm indifferent to that mattering. I actually wrote about that in one of my books. I talked about how the worst like compliment you can get is from your mom, because it's like it's totally it's always going to be insincere. It could be
means
sincere, but it could also it means nothing.
I think some people have like high
Plus, she's
maintenance
a horrible
mothers who
person.
really are right. Like the maternalness is turned way down, and then they're sort of critical Bob. I don't know. Like
And she's borderline personality, so fuck whatever she thinks.
Oh yeah, I've dealt with that shit before. But with mom,
sure, I agree. You're right. My mom always says, she's very glowing, and I'm like, thanks, mom.
yeah, and it's because of the concept of unconditional love, which I think is horseshit. I think unconditional love is basically a guarantee that none of your compliments will ever matter. If you unconditionally,
It's a ridiculous concept. Unconditional love.
oh my, this is the first time I think we've ever agreed on anything.
Well,
Rucka.
if you love something unconditionally, you don't really love it.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
That you love it because it meets a certain standard.
It's like a robot. If you program a robot to just give you compliments every day, what the fuck matter does it make? What difference does it make? It's kind of like literally a light switch where you turn it on. It's like, oh, you brighten my room. It's like, well, that's your one fucking job. That's what you got to do.
It's like a wife.
It's like a wife. Yeah,
That's why
she just
I'm
brightens
gonna get
your
married.
day. Everyone's always happily married.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean, Robert?
Yeah, your wife is just supposed to love you and be with you no matter what, even though you guys
Yeah, that's
don't
what.
sleep in the same bed anymore.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, real sad. or that's how it started out in the 50s. Christian, I want to throw it to you. What do you
Yes,
think?
It did start out in the 50s.
Yeah, people sleeping in separate beds. That was the whole thing.
On TV.
Oh,
maybe.
I
was
thought
like,
you
nah,
meant
that was
like
a TV
a wife
thing.
loving
That was a
you.
TV
life
thing?
thing. That was just a
FCC.
TV
Really?
thing.
I thought you just
Yes.
meant the wife loving you.
No, I mean that's also
They
bizarre.
just did that because they didn't want to show the audience be like people acting very like sexual, so they had characters
beds.
sleep in separate beds.
Yeah, and then the movies created the wave of people going to buy single beds.
And
No,
then,
no. Wait, hold on. What I think Ron and I are saying is that double beds existed, but they were not allowed to show them on TV legally because it was too sexy and suggestive. But you're saying it sounds like no, actually they didn't exist, and movies popularized
Yes,
them.
that's what I heard.
Interesting.
Yeah, that actually, yeah.
Someone in the chat room said it started in the 80s, maybe. I mean, look,
I mean, didn't
No,
Queens
definitely
about
Queens
that.
have beds
Definitely
back
fif-
in the day?
there was
big
like a
beds?
specific film that like swept across America, and then everyone was like, "Oh,
Gone
look
with
at
the
double
Wind?
bed."
yeah, that's usually what happens. Like that's what normalizes weird fetishes. What did you say, Rob?
Foot fetish. I'm waiting for
sorry,
that
Robert.
movie.
Is that okay with you, Rucka? If I call him
Where's
Rob, or
the
do you prefer
movie
Robert,
foot
Rucka?
fetish?
I do prefer Robert.
Okay, Robert. What? Do you,
For Robert too.
Yeah, maybe because that's his name.
I forgot what I was trying to say, by the way.
was it okay? So what's the most perfect thing about me? These guys, by the way, have given me real sincere compliments. Ron's was
What did
that.
you say?
That makes me
I
feel
said,
better. 'cause
I love
wanted to
how
go
he just
since-
doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's
That's what I was going
But
to say.
strictly
so I
about
can't do that one.
strictly about like
About the dust in his living room.
yeah,
Yeah,
The
okay.
dust in his living room.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of this shit.
just a general house maintenance.
I think the best thing about Maddox is that he brings people together.
Hey, you know what, Christine? That's
Damn.
really great. Yeah, that's right. I do. I do bring people together. Thank you,
How do you
Christina.
do
in
that
this
without a
little
car?
room.
Yeah. Oh, that's see, I like that a lot. Just warmth, radiating warmth. Anyway,
Dude.
Robert, what's the most perfect thing about me?
Most perfect thing about you.
Yeah. That's the laugh.
Well, they already took
Yeah.
mine.
Oh yeah, that I
Give it again.
That you don't give a fuck,
yes. Okay, that's great.
and then whatever she said.
Brings people together.
That I bring people together.
That you bring people together.
There's just and there's like an entire chat room full of
You,
people just
I don't
brought
know.
together.
You respond to my texts,
I do respond,
and
to
you
your
let me
text,
into
yeah.
your house.
Although, Robert, I will say this: you are one of the most difficult people to get a hold of because I think you've changed your number like 4 times since I've known you.
What's going on,
What?
Robert?
I'm hiding.
Are you really?
Yeah.
'Cause
From?
Robert's okay. So
No, I got my phone stolen at gunpoint a year ago.
What
so I
the
had to change my. You don't know about that?
Oh wait, no. I think you posted about it
Wow.
on Facebook. So tell.
So that's why I had
Do you
to
want to
change
talk
my.
about
Give me your phone.
Do you have PTSD?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It's
You're
a
right.
thing.
It's not like you didn't get shot.
Nah, I'm
They
over
just, it was just like waving the gun.
it. It might not have been a real gun.
Did you poop a little bit? Like
Hard
what?
to know though. I
was that
mean, why
experience?
test it,
No, I
right?
was mostly annoyed. I was walking down the street with my headphones in, and these 3 teenagers.
Always teenagers.
Stupid.
I'm not going to
teenager.
describe them.
Fucking.
One of them asked me if I had a $1, and I said no, I don't have $1. He's like, man, you have $1? Give. I probably shouldn't do the accent.
Well, was it?
Please.
It's okay if that was his accent.
Yeah.
Good point. Accurate representation.
That's right.
And then he pulled out like the butt of a gun, like not all the way. He's like, give me your phone.
Oh shit, dude! You should have given him the $1 first.
And I'm really well. I didn't have any
Yeah.
cash. I don't carry cash for that reason.
Oh, really?
But I should have carried
shouldn't
I
carry
should have had
phones
cash
either.
on me because then I had to get a new phone.
Was it? Hold on. Was it an iPhone? Because then you could just do Find My iPhone and get your phone back. Was it an Android?
They kept it off for a while,
oh, smart.
Yeah, clever.
and then somebody finally turned it on in Compton.
But you can also do that thing
No.
where
You used to let
That's
that.
what
But
really
they sell
count your
phones to
losses.
China too. There's a whole
I
market,
already had
like
a new
in
phone. I was
some.
over it.
Yeah, I read this article once about this guy who, what have his photos were like? He was like downloading photos from this guy in China, and it was like their iClouds had crossed or something.
really.
Weird.
Yeah, and then he went to the city to like meet the guy because he was like following his whole life story. And,
Oh, wow,
Yeah, and the
that's
town
interesting.
treated him like a celebrity. It was like this wild event.
But it wasn't like a stolen phone. It was just the accounts were crossed.
Well, it's like I want to say, I think that the accounts got crossed because, and that's what it was, because a phone was stolen like a year before, and the guy in China was like bought the phone, like acquired it from like the market in China because they sell all of these phones. Like it's known, like the hub where like stolen phones go is like this specific city.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It was fascinating.
So
I know.
So I had a friend one time who
But yours just went to Compton.
Here we go.
Like part of the
Here we
reason
go with the anecdote.
I say I had a friend and I don't say their name is because I try to keep them anonymous. I don't want to just like out people who are not
And they're
public
not really
figures.
friends. They're just.
They are. This one's a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a good friend. I'll tell you. You know, Ron, I'm going to give you enough hints about who this person is, and then you tell me if you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
He moved out of state about 2 years ago. He got married. He has 2 kids. I met him through improv. He's been a longtime friend of mine, and he's tall,
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
and he's white as fuck.
okay, well, that white as fuck describes almost all improvisers.
Okay.
It's like all your friends.
Yeah. Okay. No, not all. No.
Oh, here we go.
Are you
Everybody
married?
gets-
I
Does he
have
have
a
2 kids?
Mexican friend. I have a black friend.
Oh
Here
my
it goes.
gosh. Okay.
We have a
friend
black
for every-
friend coming
Look, I have-
in the
I
show
have-
later.
I have a white
Black
friend.
friend is coming.
Can I say I have a white friend? Sorry,
You're not
is it
racist. 'Cause
PC.
you have a white friend.
I have white friends. I can say whatever I want.
Nice to not assume that it's the default, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't say that it's the white friend because
See?
we like assume like everyone's white unless specified.
Everyone assumes my
That's
friend.
an interesting like.
Well, whenever
default
I say
thought
white
process.
friend, I always whisper white. He's white. He's white. Check my shoulders.
Anyway,
But
so
at
this
what
friend,
level of what? Pasty white, medium white, yellow white. What's
Armenian
the
white?
undertone? What's the undertone?
Armenian
color?
white's never white enough.
green white.
Yeah. So this friend of mine he left his phone in like an El Pollo Loco. And, it was, he went back like 30 minutes later and it was gone. So he did that. He had some software installed that would track his phone and show you where it is with GPS, even if like the phone was off. It had like some weird standby mode or something like that. So he tracked the guy down. He went to this dude's, basically his street that he lived on. And he can play this tone. So he's walking up and down the street, approximately where the GPS location is. He heard the tone inside this guy's house. And then he decided not to go in to get it at the last minute because he said he got too scared. I'm like, what the fuck? And he went there with like 2-3 people. I'm like, why don't you call the cops and have them roll in with you? He goes, well, you know, I didn't want to start anything. I'm like, they got your fucking phone. Just go in there and fucking take it. That's what's frustrating. That's what I would have done in China. I almost went to fucking Kazakhstan one time. This motherfucker. Oh my gosh. This fucking... Okay, so I bought the software. Didn't work. It was supposed to be like a PDF merge application, which I, by the way, have written 3 times over. So many better PDF merge applications.
I mean, everybody knows that.
I was showing Ron right before the show. Anyway, I got this PDF merge application. I wrote one myself. This guy's shitty fucking software didn't work. I paid $45 for it. I'm like, give me a refund. He goes, well, you got to sign this document that says that you will destroy all copies of it. I'm like, I didn't even get it. You didn't even send me the copy of the software. There's nothing to destroy. I'm not signing shit. Give me the fucking refund. And he goes, you got to sign it. You got to fax it. You got to do this. I'm like, you're in fucking Kazakhstan. So I looked this guy up. I fucking found this guy.
Yes.
And I just like had this, like for a week, I was just seeing red, like fantasizing about like flying to Kazakhstan and just like, guess what, motherfucker, like knock, knock, and then pow.
You're right. You definitely never get emotional.
That's but that's just like that's like a cold, calculated revenge, Ron. That's all that is.
No, I have those fantasies.
No, I mean, look, I would be afraid to knock on the door too, because I think we imagine kind of like they're going to open the door with a gun in your face, you know? So it's like, do you need to go with your own gun? But then does that escalate? It's so crazy. But then I think about the times that I've done weird confrontations, like with roommates, where I was like, hey, I'm going to confiscate your keys and you have to leave now. And like, you know, when you pay the rent, we'll give you all your stuff back. Like this happened in New York, right? And I was like panicked at, the worst is going to happen. We decided to do it early morning. Early morning's a good time to do these things.
People aren't up yet.
Nobody pulled a gun. You know what I mean? Like it was fine. It worked. So I agree with you that your friend should have totally knocked on the door and been like, yo, like you have my phone. I hope you enjoyed it for the week. Hand it back.
Yeah, don't be such a coward about it. Anyway, yeah, and you know the friend I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah.
I think movies, speaking of movies, the 50s, right? Okay, the 50s got us in twin beds. And modern movies have us being like, I don't know, if I ask for my phone back, they might shoot me. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. That's like what we all think. How common is that? How common is it? Are you really going to get shot? I don't know. I mean, in New Orleans, maybe. Where I'm from.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It depends on, I think, on how destitute the person is. Like, if somebody is that hard up for a fucking phone that they, like, are going to, shoot you for, like, get another phone.
Maybe you could have a chat about it. Like, at the door, you're like, look, I'd like my phone back.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how desperate are you?
Be like, hey,
are you going to knife me for it?
Maybe we can have a chat about it. Or
you're just going to hand it back?
Why don't you just give me my phone and give me a call, and then we could talk about it. And then you can trick them.
Maddox sees everything in terms of economic status. They're destitute, so they held you up, Robert. Did you know that? They needed a phone really badly. You didn't have it. If you had $1, they could go buy lunch with that, but instead they took a phone.
I figured they just needed to make a phone call.
That's what determines if a person points a gun at you or not.
Well, we can't know for sure.
We're never know anything.
We should just ask someone who's pulled guns before.
Yeah,
we can't know.
Hey, speaking of, coming up, we've got so many more guests to bring on the show. We've got Zach Waldman in studio. We've got Ali Spagnola in studio. We got Bradley Laberman. We got to bring Bradley in. Bradley,
gotta bring him in.
I've never been so starstruck in my life. How did you get all these people?
Yeah, because I fucking bring people together. Thank you, Christina.
Yeah.
A real, genuine, the first genuine, real compliment of what's so perfect about Maddox. That's the debate, guys. Don't forget to vote on madcastmedia.com. There's only going to be 4 options, even though we have
I gave you a real compliment.
Yeah, a real shit compliment.
That you're brand new. That's a compliment.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking that could go either way, Rucka. It's one of those things where you could, brand new could be like, baby. Oh, we got dogs for days. Taco's
guarding the entrance.
Taco's guarding. Okay, good.
It better be someone important.
Yeah. We got Bradley coming in. Okay, we'll swap out you guys. Feel free to hop back on.
All right.
Rob, you want to hang on longer or you know what? You can tell anyone else who's in the green room.
Whoever else is in the green room who wants to switch out with me, go ahead.
Yeah.
Come on.
We'll bring someone else. Anyone who hasn't been on yet. We got Zach and Ali in studio as well. Okay, cool. Ron's on that. Welcome back to the studio. Thank you, Christina. Welcome back to the studio, Bradley Laberman. Bradley, Bradley, the star of Rideshare, the movie, and also Brenda. Brenda is Live.
Brenda Live or whatever.
Yeah.
Coming to Amazon next week.
That's the actual title too. Brenda is Live or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Brenda Live or whatever.
Brenda Live or whatever. Yeah. And I did a cameo on it recently.
Have you watched it yet?
No, it's not out. He just said it's coming to Amazon next week.
It's coming next week.
Wow. What are you?
But he's good.
He's good.
He's fantastic. Great improv skill.
He's a good the
Yes.
star, the supporting leading actor of Ooga Booga.
The lead star of.
Have you seen him in that?
No,
That is some acting.
Yeah, I did a real good job in a movie called Ooga Booga.
Is it like softcore porn?
A horror movie. No, it's
Well, there is some very
nudity.
troubling scene after the woman is attacked. Let's just say she was attacked by men who wanted more than money from her.
That's right.
She goes home.
Yeah.
She takes a shower, as victims sometimes are known to.
People who are victims and non-victims take showers.
And as she's taking this shower and crying over what had just taken place, the little clay figurine that came to life, the little clay star of the movie, is sitting there watching her in the shower and amusing himself.
AKA her boyfriend. So it's it's
her dead boyfriend.
Oh, so it's sort of like a Chucky type situation?
Yeah, it's a Chucky type situation. Thank you, Bradley.
Her boyfriend. It's okay. Yeah, if a woman is attacked and then takes a shower.
He didn't know. He was just there. He was just like, man, I miss my girlfriend. Okay, if your girlfriend died and then her spirit came back in the form of a puppet.
Yeah.
And then you saw your girlfriend. Wait, you're the puppet. And then you saw your girlfriend for the first time, and you're the spirit.
Okay. So
wouldn't you be happy?
Wait, is it puppet or is it claymation? Is it like a Gumby or is it like
claymation?
Claymation.
So it's like a Gumby thing.
You know about Gumby, Rob?
You just smash your girlfriend and reform her.
Yeah, I know.
We got to get Ooga Booga 2 star feature with Robert and on the claymation.
I'm a professional clay animator.
Oh, okay. Wow, I've never seen it. I've never met one in person before. It's great.
Did it for 10 years.
Bradley really took it in too for
I was like, wow.
Bradley, speaking of, so our mutual introduction was through Rucka. I think you introduced me to Bradley and to Tremaine, and Tremaine
Count for me.
Tremaine is the guy who created Rideshare, the movie.
This is too heavy.
Okay, Robert, thank you so much.
Robert
feel free to hop
Benford.
back on.
I might be back.
Yeah.
I have extra ones of these in my car too. If you need another one of these tomorrow.
Oh no, it'll be fine because this mic will be like passing around back.
Oh, okay.
We've got Zach Waldman coming in. Zach, welcome to the show. Thank you, Robert. Robert Benford. Everybody, give him a follow. Give him a sub on YouTube. What's the channel, Robert? Robert Benford on YouTube. Look it up. So if robertbenford.com goes to his YouTube channel, guys, give him a sub.
Is your YouTube claymation?
Robert does very funny and weird esoteric sketches on his YouTube channel, which, by the way, Rob, I would say you're in the top 3 weirdest people I've ever met, and I mean that as the best compliment. Yeah, you know Roger Barr, right, from iMockery? He's like one of the weirdest people I've ever met, one of my dear friends, and I would put you... Yeah, sorry. Yeah, now that you're off.
Yeah,
we're having a conversation.
I was just like,
got Rob off mic.
You dropped a bomb on me and then he left.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Sorry,
Well, that's
one more time, Rob.
because I'm going to come back later. And
Okay.
Yeah.
we'll leave people wanting more.
Yeah, just Rob's sketches are super weird, super funny. If you kneel a little bit, you'll be it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, Rob, that's all.
All right.
And now you're here. We're done.
Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Rob. Give Rob a sub, guys. He has very funny sketches. Thank you, Rob. And please welcome to the show,
Robert.
Zach.
Hey, what's up, motherfuckers?
Zach Waldman. Zach, longtime friend of the show, guest. The first episode you ever came on, Zach, was when we debated whether or not you should move in with a girlfriend. Was that the debate?
Yeah, I think so. But I wanted to share this with you. You guys, there was you that I think, or I don't know, that said I should bring this up, and they reminded me of this. Wow, I'm a little higher than I realized. Hey, everybody, you guys cost me a date. This show,
we caused you a date.
Cost me a date.
How? What
was
happened?
at a party, met a girl. We were clicking. Everything was going well.
Yeah.
And then I get this text message. Hey, Zach. I was very much looking forward to going to the Magic Castle tomorrow. However, I came across the podcast you did about MGTOW.
Yeah.
That was the second time I was on your show.
That's right.
She says, I'm not sure what you experienced in your past. And if that's what led to your point of view on relationships with women, that's unfortunate. It was certainly disheartening to listen to. I myself want to meet someone who wants to put energy and effort towards a life with me. I get that a date to Magic Castle is just a date to Magic Castle. I had zero hopes or expectations of anything else. I did not listen to the entire podcast, but I got the gist. Many of your core beliefs are in direct conflict with mine. I'm not sure I feel comfortable with our plans any longer. That's a fucking long ass text message.
You really did dodge a bullet.
Bullet dodge.
Wait,
Sounds like a
yeah.
clinger.
If she didn't listen to the whole podcast, she didn't get to hear the Babcock tip.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have turned it around.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, the thing is, I was anti-MGTOW, but somehow I still...
Somehow your deeply romantic point of view still turned her away.
Yeah, I guess when I said I like to pump them and dump them, as Tom Leykis says.
That's very Tom Leykis.
That is Tom Leykis.
Dump that bitch.
That's right, DTB.
Pull me up, Tom.
Man, so that's you know what though? You dodged a bullet with that one.
You guys did me a favor, man.
Yeah.
This podcast helped me weed out a girl that clearly would not let me lick her butt. You know what I mean? She had to have been uptight.
Let you or make you. I think that's one of the makers.
You don't like to eat ass, Maddox?
It's not my first meal.
Okay.
So your takeaway from that experience is what?
That I should make every potential date listen to that podcast and see how they react. I'm going to use it to sift.
So we should give you a proper introduction to you guys. Zach is a magician, and
a stand-up
and a stand-up comic. And I will say,
depends on how people know me, which one they say first. But okay.
Yeah, well, it's the one I saw you do last, which is your magic when we went to the Comedy Store. And Zach started pulling out these magic tricks that were just mind blowing. And I know it sounds like one of those compliments I would give to somebody who's sitting in the room with me, but it's absolutely sincere. I'd say regardless, because
thanks, buddy.
Zach, I was thinking about those tricks you did like the day after, and they're so impressive. So everybody who was watching these tricks were really their jaws dropped. It was really good. You didn't have to be that good, Zach. Like that's the thing with magic tricks. A little bit goes a long way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you've ever run across a magician that wants to do one trick after another and kidnaps you, you get a little tired of it. You're like, okay, I get it. It was cool an hour ago, but I'm done. So yeah, I think you're right about that.
Is it the same in the world of comedy where you see some magicians and you're like, man, fuck this guy. Like, I hate his magic. Because I know there's comedians I watch where they're talented comedians, but I just can't stand their comedy. Or is it with magicians where it's more of a thing where like you do kind of respect, like, oh, that's a pretty good trick?
I think a better question is, can I enjoy a person's show if I personally don't like them?
Yes.
And that I can do. I have other friends that are like, oh, that guy was a dick to me. I just can't watch his show because he's an asshole. But I can separate it pretty good. I can go, hey, that guy's an asshole, but that's a good show. So,
well, that's a debate that we've been meaning to have for a long time, which, by the way, I got that 17-page document of debates that we've never covered on the show. I'll be reading some more of those as the show goes on and playing some more voicemails. I got a shit ton of voicemails. But that was one debate that we wanted to have a while ago, which is, can you separate the art from the artist? Like, Michael Jackson is a keen example.
Why is that?
Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Oh, so he's this like pop singer from the 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard of him? So he had this, Scandal.
He did Thriller.
Oh.
Thriller.
Okay.
He also did Moonwalk.
Yeah.
Moonwalker was the video. I think.
Moonwalker.
It was
and
like a
the
movie.
video
It
game.
was like
Moonwalker, the video game.
He also did A Number of Small Children.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And that's
That's
the
the rub.
That's the rub, right? And so
No pun intended.
Hold on. Did he
did he what?
do some small children? Or
I mean,
is this...
that's the rumor. That's what people are saying.
Well, I mean,
The HBO documentary was kind of hard to watch.
I haven't seen it because I don't.
I was
a
hardball
tough watch.
watching it.
Oh boy.
was that the HBO documentary starring the guy who was the first witness in Michael Jackson's case, who underwent some of the most experienced police officers and defense attorneys ever to make sure he wasn't bullshitting them, so that they could make sure that the first witness they put on the stand to vouch for Michael's character is not going to turn out to be lying? And he said Michael never molested him, who then later sued for quite a lot of money, saying that he did in fact rape him.
I know what side Ruck is on.
Yeah, I think Rucka knows who Michael Jackson is.
Okay,
I think he was
clearly. Was that a bit, Rucka?
So does that mean you would let Michael Jackson babysit your kids? Hell no!
Okay, so back to the question though. Can you separate? Can you still enjoy Michael Jackson's music knowing this about him?
I think you can, and I think the thing
I
is,
like it more now.
Yeah, I think
Fucking Zach.
Fast forward, he meets a girl with a kid. She's everything he's looking for. Well, maybe her having a kid would make her.
Yeah, no
qualify.
single
All right.
moms.
No, yeah. What?
Zach, I was really looking forward to going out, but then I heard your podcast
Yeah, that-
where you were pro Michael Jackson, and
See, there we go. We're improvising. See, guys, we still got it.
what I was going to say was, I feel like in those situations, I think you should be able to enjoy the music, but in a situation like, or enjoy the art, but like in a situation like, say, like the Cosby situation, where they take the show off the air and everybody else who's involved with the show loses money out of the deal.
Right.
There has to be some way that they could like put the show back on and you just take his share and funnel it to like a women's abuse group or something like that. Just-
So somebody enters into a contract saying they will get paid a certain percentage of future royalties, and then you're saying we, quote unquote, whoever that is, can just take that money away from Cosby and hand it over to some homeless
he's in
women.
jail. So
Do
what,
you think
I mean,
do you think
I'm sorry. Is your property liquidated when you're in jail? I had no idea. Are we in Cuba?
I mean, you do
Record-
lose rights.
Criminals
when you're
do
in
pay
jail.
restitution.
yeah, you do.
There are-
there's the whole thing where you
there are
can't make money.
people-
off your
So
crime.
paying restitution for your crime means that whatever you own is now taken away and funneled over to the
But at the
homeless?
same time, shutting it down so like the other people that are in the show don't get their 25 cents a month.
Guys,
I didn't know-
let's turn this back to me.
So
What's the most perfect thing about me? Can we please talk about
You're
Zach?
not Bill Cosby.
Thank you. Okay, that's I'll take that. Thank you, Rucka. That's a really sincere. Zach, I know you got something good.
Your
for me.
uncircumcised penis. It's beautiful.
Hey, you know what?
It's
I expected the harshest roast from Zach the whole day, and Zach is like, "You got a nice cock."
it's a beautiful, beautiful man piece you have there.
Hey, thank you, buddy.
A lot of people don't know this about Maddox, but he also bleaches his asshole.
Yeah. Well, it's a clean. It's a.
Yeah,
I run a
beautiful.
tight ship.
I never understood that.
I don't know
Not
why.
about you, but like the idea.
apples?
You go to a professional who bleaches your butt, and then what? The next time you take a dump, you're kind of back to square one.
No, that's not how
takes
it
a
works.
while.
Not
I
how it
think
works.
you wipe after you take a dump, so I mean,
Yeah.
there's probably like a little bit of residual grime
gotta
that
get a
builds
bidet,
up,
man.
Builds up.
you know, and then you got to re-bleach every few months.
Yeah,
you know.
it's more of a stain than a.
I still don't think it's good for you to put bleach on your butt.
I think
I mean,
you should
yeah.
also switch to a bidet. I want to make that public service announcement. I have a bidet. It was like $50. It attaches to your toilet. It's so much better. You see people wiping with toilet paper. You just think they're a bunch of
Is
animals.
that one of those bidets that you plug into the back of your tank? Like you plug it into your toilet tank, and that's where the water comes from.
Well, there's a
Bradley
outlet on
only washes his asshole with filtered water.
It's clean water. It doesn't.
But
There's one water intake and there's a it's a plumbing show now,
Okay.
but it's fine. It works out.
I mean, I've
right.
just seen the ones that are like the ones that just come out of the tank, and then they go.
No,
into the
this
thing.
one doesn't go into my.
Right, because in those situations, I'm like, the first time somebody gives you an upper decker, you're
Oh, yeah,
basically
you're done.
screwed on the.
Yeah, that is a problem.
Hey, speaking of upper deckers, let's get some voicemails.
Yeah.
There's a voicemail. We had a debate a couple episodes ago about fast food and Chick-fil-A. I was shitting on it pretty hard, but listen to this.
All right. Hey, Maddox. I called last week's debate, but I have a question because you just said Chick-fil-A sandwiches are dry. That's proof you've never been to fucking Chick-fil-A in your goddamn life. I've never had a Chick-fil-A sandwich that was dry a single time.
You never had a good sandwich.
Like, I just genuinely don't understand where you got that idea.
You have garbage taste.
I don't know why I'm even calling. Why am I even fucking calling this right now? Like, it really doesn't matter, and I'm driving, and I'm gonna die.
This upset him so much.
Yeah.
Just hang up the phone.
Maddox, you're Chick-fil-A. You haven't tried a good sandwich. Dude, you're defending a fucking shitty-ass Chick-fil-A sandwich with 2 fucking dime-sized pickles on that shit. Bradley, you like Chick-fil-A?
Yes.
Wrong, Bradley. Wrong answer. Thin ice, Bradley.
It's not that.
Oh man,
I love Chick-fil-A. I have the app on my phone.
What?
I earn reward points.
What the
I'm
fuck is
almost to, I think, silver status, I think.
What does the app do? Send you a...
What does that mean?
I'm sure it means I get free Chick-fil-A at some point.
I love that. Like that's a good retirement plan right there. Be like, well, I'm silver status on Chick-fil-A, so things are going pretty good.
Free Chick-fil-A is the right price for Chick-fil-A. It is such a shit it's overrated. Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich is a much better sandwich.
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly. You're right.
We can agree on
yes,
that?
Wendy's chicken sandwich.
Hey, speaking of shitty overrated foods, here's a call about cheesesteaks and how much we hate it. Listen to this.
Maddox, what the fuck? This is Jay calling from Philadelphia. And your beef with the cheesesteaks, come on, man. Like, don't tell me you're going to go to Pastor fucking Gino's when any Philadelphian will tell you that you want nothing to do with either of those establishments. There's a fucking tourist bullshit cheesesteak that is going to give you something to placate your inevitable hangover after a night of crazy drinking. Nobody in Philadelphia goes to fucking Pastor Gino's for a goddamn cheesesteak. Anyway, what the fuck, man? You're ending your podcast. Your podcast is one of the best things I listen to, and now you're cutting me short. I don't know what to say, man. I wish you all the best. Fuck a Nazi. I mean, don't fuck a Nazi. They shouldn't ever get laid. Punch a Nazi. Best wishes.
All right, I'll take it. So that guy,
He's kind of right, though. I mean, a person who lives in
100%
Philly don't really go to those places.
Oh, yeah, but where are you supposed to go? Those are the inventors of the sandwich. So you would think that they have perfected the form because they created the original form.
I mean, I don't know. Do you ever go to fucking Pink's Hot Dogs?
No.
I'm not saying they invented it, but it's like they're like the place that's known in L.A.
But they didn't invent hot dogs.
The only time I want to go to Pink's Hot Dogs is when I'm moving from L.A. and it'll be my last stop, and I just want to get like a cup of water and then just keep going.
You want the shits on your way out.
Yeah.
So we got a shit ton of super chats. I want to. There's a ton I haven't even caught up on. Matt Sweeney for $2. Make sure you press record. Oh, thank you, Matt Sweeney. He started us out. We got one from Raven Zephyr a while ago for $5. She says, "Can you give or he? I think it's a he. Can you give one last shout out to the Kiss Crew Club, Maddox? We love you. We got one from Flo Hamad. Great to see the gang one last time. Kirk does a promotion. Oh, we did read that one. Apostolos. Another one from Raven Zephyr says, "You skipped my $5 super chat. No, I did not. That was for $2. Apostolos Constantino says this episode is getting more like the Expendables." That's right, Apostolos. And we still got more. We still got more guests who are still piling in. Matt Sweeney says, "I have a John Babstock fetish." There you go, there you go, Ron. I almost called you John now.
Close enough. They almost got my name right.
Yeah, Apostolos Constantino for €5 says, "The most perfect thing about Maddox is that he is true and sticks to his values, even if it costs him billions of dollars in advertisement revenue. Ain't that the fucking truth?"
That's true. You don't even make any content. It costs you billions of YouTube views.
All I do is make content, Rucka. I have two fucking podcasts. Well, two podcasts as of still today, and maybe another hour. So it'll go down to one.
You know what you should do?
What?
You should start a podcast.
Oh, yeah? You think I should start a
Clearly,
podcast?
all you're calling in life.
You already got the equipment.
That's true. I do have the equipment. It's all set up. It's all turnkey.
And he can just chop this down into like 1 million Instagram stories.
Man, I wish podcasting was as simple as it seems. I wish podcasting was just like turning on and hitting record and then being done and just putting that episode out. And you can, and that's why most podcasts sound like shit. This is one of the few edited podcasts. I take it out. I clean it up. Especially for this episode, we have people coming in and out. We have people bathroom breaks. We have jokes that don't work. I try to.
Do you podcast, Rucka? I'm sorry to interrupt. So you just do video streams?
Yeah.
Because you're like, fuck, I'm not just doing audio. They got to see me too.
Yeah, I guess.
No, but do you feel like you're missing the mark a little bit for people who are like driving on their way to work and don't have time to be playing YouTube? Like you just want to give them the audio version of it?
No.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. By the way, I got something to say here.
Okay, if there's at least 2 by the ways before he says something, it's pretty serious.
Yeah,
all you people out there complaining about YouTube, and rightfully so oftentimes, if all the YouTubers would have encouraged their audience for the last several years to sign up for YouTube Red. I know YouTube is the enemy, but think about it. Think about Netflix stars, how much money they make versus, ads on, Spotify free version. Think about it. Ads, you don't want ads. You want subscription. That's where the real dollar's at. If everyone had encouraged their audience to get YouTube Red or YouTube Music or YouTube Plus or whatever the fuck miscellaneous name they have for it now, it would build a bond between YouTube and the creators, and it would encourage people to not care that much about ads so that people can make the content that they want to make, and the world would be a better place. But they don't actually want money, all these YouTubers. They want to be cool. They want to be anti the man. So they're not going to encourage anyone to sign up for YouTube Red. And when they get YouTube Red /music or whatever, they can listen to the audio with the app minimized. So that would solve that as well.
How much does YouTube Red cost?
Like I don't know, $8 a month.
Yeah, $9 a month.
Yeah, it's like if all you do is watch YouTube anyway, it's a good way to support not only the creators, but am I going to say it? The people who created the website and work there and make it possible for us to have this conversation.
You know what, Rucka, that's a good point, and I'll give you a point for that because that
was that the wrap up?
Yeah,
it's
a Rucka wrap up. There it is. Haven't heard that in a while. I went out with a girl who was all about the YouTube Red.
Bullshit.
No, it wasn't bullshit. It wasn't bullshit. Hot 25-year-old. She was super. She was super cool. Until she wasn't. But anyway, dude. Like YouTube Red is one of the best ways to get these dipshits on YouTube. Like, oh, I got demonetized. I'm so fucking tired of people complaining about that shit. Yeah, it sucks. It fucking sucks.
You wouldn't understand because
I
don't
do.
post
Okay,
any content.
do it again. Wow, fucking. The Rucka, always riding my balls. All I do is produce content. All I do.
That is all you do.
Yeah. All like 3 a.m, I was producing content last night. No credit. Rucka never comes in. It's like, yeah.
It's very true.
No credit. No credit. I never get it. Yeah. Anyway, Bradley, we didn't get to your pick. What's the most perfect thing about Maddox?
Pass. No,
you know what, Bradley?
No, I got one. He always has potpourri out on the table.
It's not potpourri. They're fried vegetables. Okay, I got some vegetable chips.
Wow.
Very considerate.
I do want to say one of the best things about Maddox is that he's supportive. He's always supportive to bring people onto his content, and he's always supportive to help other people with their content.
Yeah, you know what, Bradley? That's very sincere.
He helps people with their content all the time because he doesn't have his own content.
Okay, that's all it is.
It worked for me. So
two fucking podcasts, making videos. I produce a 20-minute video. Rucka.
Man, we should always have Rucka on. This has been great. I've been really enjoying this show. There's
just so much warmth coming from that side of the table.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of love.
I got like the anger sweats from Rucka, and I got when Christina came on and she had that sensual moment with Robert Benfer. You guys missed it, but she was like poking his armpit, and then for a second the entire studio was just kind of like, oh yeah, this got weirdly sensual. Like you would not think Zach, you're looking at me like you want me to demo, but I don't think I'm going to.
No, I don't want that.
Yeah. Zach, you've been doing a shit ton of comedy lately too.
That's what I do for a living.
That's
Maddox.
right.
I'm a comedian and a magician.
For people in Los Angeles, where can people come see you do your live shows?
Well, I do Flappers a lot in Burbank. I headline this Wednesday show there, not every week, but oftentimes. Also, Busby's West in Santa Monica. I do a show once a month there. If you go to my website, which is zachwaldman.com, there's a public performance schedule. There's nothing on there right now, but I'll have some dates added soon. But there you go. That's the best way to find me live is to go to my website.
zachwaldman.com.
I'm curious. Is there any way you can do magic right now, or is that just like impossible?
Well, it would be a very visual thing, so it wouldn't be like great podcasting. Okay. But yeah, for the YouTube,
true, yeah.
That is
YouTube
like
channel.
the same though as like being like if you're doing stand up, be like, tell me a joke.
I know.
Tell me a joke, funny guy.
I like magic. I'm sorry. Okay?
You a magician? Show me. Show me.
You're totally right. I realize now that was. I apologize.
No,
for that.
it's fine.
But I mean, if you were a really
have
good magician, you could probably do some.
Yeah, exactly.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, and where can people find your show, Bradley?
The new show Brenda Live or whatever is coming out. It'll be on Amazon Prime.
That's right.
You'll be able to find it up on Amazon Prime. You can just follow me on Instagram, Bradman TV. Or people can follow the actual show just by Brenda is Live is the account for the show on Instagram.
Are you kicking us out? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, in a minute.
I feel like we're getting kicked out.
I got some more super chats. No, we're gonna have like people hopping on and off. Like,
who's better than me? I mean, seriously. Did you see what's out there?
I know.
It's slim pickings.
Hey, shots fired.
What part of Ali Spagnoli didn't you catch?
Allie, we're gonna have Allie coming on next. Yeah, Allie, when we can get.
Yeah, she left.
No, she bounced. Oh,
yeah,
in and out.
She left.
Wow.
Well, we had Allie in
Kept
studio.
her waiting too long.
Oh, she had to film a video.
Wow, I'm surprised you're not there shooting with her, man.
Yeah, Allie is one of the hardest working people I know. Like, period. Yeah,
I mean,
of course,
coming
not for
from
Rucka.
a guy with a pretty high bar.
Yeah, I do have a fucking high bar, Rucka.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Apostolos Constantino for €5. Says the most perfect thing about Maddox is that he is true and sticks to his values, even if it costs him billion. Oh, we already read that one.
Yeah, just read that self-aggrandizing message again.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's also
you probably are the one who paid for that super chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Here, I'm just sneaking in some stealth super chats to myself. Shareth Chandra for $5 Canadian says the best thing about Maddox is his integrity. Thank you, Shareth.
Wow,
Kirk,
$5 Canadian. What's that like? Monopoly money?
By the way, I feel like
It's
we
like
didn't
negative.
debate anything. This is the last debate in the universe.
well, you know what, Zach? I'm going to read some of these debate topics from the 17-page list of debate topics that I have that I haven't even gotten to. I'll read that in a second. I want to see what you guys think. What appeals to you? Kirk Wilcox for $1.99. Serious lack of long, luxurious locks on the stream. Thank you, Kirk. We got the Son of India for Canadian $2. Says shout out to DJ BX for doing a badass job. Thank you, DJ BX. We got one from, let's see, Hooked on Montana for $2. YouTube Red is awesome. I love it. Thank you, Hooked on Montana, longtime fan. Guys, keep those super chats coming. We'll be reading more of those in just a minute. I got another voicemail, though. There's a caller who's a little upset that the show was ending. Listen to this.
God damn it, you fucking prick. Why do you always do this to me? I love your podcast. It is literally my favorite podcast. And you're ending it? You fucking douchebag. If you end the Godzilla podcast, I'm coming to your fucking home. You understand me, you son of a bitch? I've been following you since the fucking 90s. Keep the goddamn podcast going, you prick. Fuck whales.
Hey, fuck whales to you too.
Wow, this is the best podcast he's ever heard.
Wow. Yeah.
He's never heard Joe Rogan's or Joey Diaz's or
that's what I say.
Dan
Joe
Carlin's
for you, Ron.
Or there's so many good
Zach
ones out
Waldman's.
there, and I don't have one because no one liked mine. But wow, I can't believe this guy. There's so many podcasts out there way better than this one.
You know what? Look, I know.
Well, but the thing is, Joe Rogan, when he's not doing his podcast, he's working on other projects, and same with all those other guys. Maddox, he's dedicated his full existence to this show, and that's why it's so great.
Yeah, okay.
I still don't understand why you don't do a podcast. All you got to do is just export audio, and you're done.
Yeah.
He does these fucking 7-hour marathon streams.
Just export the audio, and then you also got a podcast.
That's right. That's a podcast.
Look, Joe Rogan's podcast is decent, and so are a lot of the top podcasts in the top 10 or top 100 or so. This podcast, I will say this: I know it's supposed to be in character
I'm
for
just
me
being
to.
a dick, dude.
No, I don't.
Podcast is very unique. I love it. I love that I've been on it.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to.
No,
be
but I want to
entertaining because God, we need something.
I want to say, I want to say this though. Like people are like, there's so many podcasts out there that like most of them sound like shit because they don't put any work into them. Like you're right, you would agree, right? You've heard the average podcast, like it sounds like garbage.
I do a podcast where all I do is talk into a tin can for 1 hour, and I record it on an old iPhone, and it sounds great.
Yeah, it actually does. You know what though? Ron introduced me to this. Ron has changed my life so much for the better. Rucka, you guys should talk. Maybe exchange notes.
I have an interest in producing a lot more content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I feel like you're the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, we got Dirk in the chat room from Super Arrogant Bros, and we got a voicemail from Dirk. Listen to this.
Hey guys, Dirk here. I wanted to send a message to be part of the last hurrah for Best Debate. This show has been going for 3 goddamn years, and it's slow to hit when you're realizing that something is coming to an end. And I can't think of a better reason to let something special end than looking into and developing the new. I believe that podcasting is oversaturated, and at times it can feel like pissing in an ocean full of piss. But Maddox, your work has inspired me over the years, and it's part of why I decided to try podcasting in the first place. So thank you for the work and care that you put into the show. Thank you to the people who helped make this show what it is. Thank you for having me on your show. But also, thank you to the listeners who I was able to talk to in the chat. That especially goes for you, Hooked on Montana, and Pavich. So here's to the new podcast about the best goddamn kaiju monster. Have a good one, my dudes. Keep your boots full.
Hey, thank you, Dirk.
That heartful. It's sweet.
Very
Yeah.
heartfelt. He's like one of the best guys.
It's weird when your fans are actually sincere.
Well, he's not just a fan; he's a friend, and he's got a show on Madcast Media. Guys, go to Madcast Media, subscribe to Dirk Show. It's Super Arrogant Bros, and he started another new podcast where it's just him riffing about metal, horror, pop culture, and he's got such a great voice, a great rhythm. You know how Zach Tom Likas back in the day, like he's a one-man show, and he can carry a one-man show.
Well, that's what he does now. He does a podcast.
What do you mean
now.
back in the day?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the difference between what he was doing and the podcast?
Well, before it sounded exactly like
7
his
figures.
Hey man, at least he was profitable. The actual radio stations can't say that; they're all in the hole.
That's true.
He when he was doing it originally, he was doing it live, and it sounded just like his radio show, but online. And, he had breaks just like a radio show, and he had Gary and Dino and, Mike Timpson in there. Now he does it pre-recorded. It's maybe 20 minutes long, and he does them whenever he wants. And
so that's the only difference is that it's no longer
it's just
live.
him by himself, records them himself, uploads them, and so there's no more live show. And instead of it being 3 hours or 4 hours, however long it was, now it's like 20 minutes. It's a podcast.
But it is still daily. I think he even recorded on 4th of July. Ron, did you ever listen to Tom Likas back in the day?
No. My family strictly just had NPR on growing up. Rucka, you would have loved it.
Yeah.
What about you, Bradley? Did you ever listen to Tom Likas?
Not a lot. I was more of a comedy radio like Don and Mike.
I love Don and Mike. We have that in
Don.
common. So Don and Mike
Yeah.
is the show that kind of put me on the map.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, I was such
You're on
huge
the
fans. You know what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Thank you.
So Don and Mike back in the day, when I was like 16 years old, I was listening to the Don and Mike radio show, and that was like my favorite talk show of all time. It was syndicated in Utah, then it wasn't one day. Then when I woke up one morning and I saw my inbox flooded with email. I had like over 100 emails in my inbox, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? Why are all these people emailing me? And it turns out that I was mentioned on the Don and Mike radio show. But since the show is no longer syndicated in Utah, I had to go hunt down that episode, and it was really hard. This is like, early 2000s. There wasn't, huge repositories and streaming services and all this other shit. I finally tracked down the episode. Turned out they didn't just mention me. They did an entire segment about me, and it was a 30-minute segment, and these were my fucking heroes. These were my radio.
You were 16?
No, at the time I was like 20, 21, but when I first started listening to them, I was 16, yeah. But I was like 20, 21 when I first started, when this happened to me, and I was like, my jaw dropped. I could not believe my radio heroes not only mentioned me, but they were fans of me and my work. I was so thrilled. And so they asked me to come on the show and read an original piece that I wrote, and that's the piece I wrote. It's called I Am Better Than Your Kids. That's the piece that kind of...
What were they reading from you before that?
Just all my articles. They just went
like
through...
What? Like, I hate Tony Danza? I know that's...
Yeah,
I know like 2 of your things. Tony Danza.
Yeah.
I'm Better Than Your Kids. Bin Laden died. Let's talk about that again.
That's a more modern one, yes. 2000.
Then like videos.
Yeah.
You got videos. Not lately so much, but like that's one of the things.
There's throwing a little dig there, but yeah. So anyway,
podcasts.
And podcasts.
Your radio heroes blew you up, and my radio hero fired me. So.
Likas fired you?
No, I'm Tom
Howard
and I
Stern.
Howard Stern. That's right.
No,
Howard
Tom
Stern
and I are still tight. I go to his house for the Super Bowl. I go.
You got fired by Stern though?
Yeah,
Howard. Yeah, that's a.
But I just want to
story.
say, Tom Likas is a fucking great human being. That guy has been nothing but good to me, and he's a real fucking talent. You hang out with him, and the stories he has from doing radio in Miami and his wars with Neil Rogers, who was a radio legend in South Florida. Tom's the best, dude. He's a whole other level. Yeah, Howard Stern fired me. Yeah, I used to be on the Howard Stern show, and we've done that story.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, Howard Stern is retiring.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He announced his retirement.
I heard. I was in like an Uber. Obviously, nobody under 50 has Sirius XM. But like I was riding in an Uber with some Armenian, which I think is great.
Okay.
And he was listening to
Was it
Stern.
Was it Maddox?
And obviously they just play the same Stern episode all day because they got,
I have Sirius XM, but that's because I just got a new car.
I do too.
Yeah, it came with a new car.
They always
got
give
it to listen to Howard.
Yeah, they always give it to you for like 3 months.
to give it away. Yeah.
Sirius is a Minnesota company.
So Taylor's back in the studio. He says Sirius is a Minnesota company. Taylor, do you want to hop on? And also, is Kelly and Christina still here?
Yeah.
Could I? Just Allie left. Okay, and is anyone still here who hasn't already come on? Okay, great. Could we get Kelly and Christina back on here? I need to use the restroom. We'll have the three of you guys on, and you guys man the show for a hot second.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be right. Well, I'll be right back, but you guys are going to continue unless you guys need to take a
no.
break
Let's
as well.
just. I mean, maybe after. But why don't you go take a leak? We'll keep the show going.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
You guys keep.
Are they coming?
You guys are free to go or free to stay.
Well,
for now.
For now, yeah.
Well, in case I don't come back,
yes,
I'm going to hang out. But in case I don't, I love you. Love Rucka. I know you because of Rucka.
Yeah.
So
some of his most successful and charming friends he knows because of me.
Yeah. Well, and some people would say some of the most charming and successful friends is because of me too. But
I don't think
you and I hang out from time to time.
I think so.
We went to the Comedy Store not too long ago, and you're a great dude to hang out with. I love that I've been a part of your. I was on Madcast Media for a while.
Right. Yeah.
I love coming on here. You're the greatest dude. Thank you for all the exposure and fun that
Zach,
you've provided for me.
I am honored to call you a friend, and I know this sounds like we're just jerking each other off here, but Zach is just one of the best dudes. I sincerely mean it. Oh my gosh, I'm blowing my load right now. But Zach, thank you so much, and please hang out if you guys are still here. We'd love to have you back.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah,
I'm not going to compliment you because I come back.
Yeah, okay, all right, perfect.
I was going to say that so much of this has been a jerk-off fest for Maddox. I think that a lot of people would say you guys really made this show.
Yeah.
Kind of different seasons. Like, that's the weird thing about podcasts is that you don't really think of them as like having seasons, but there are seasons. You know what I mean?
I really like Rucka's extremely aggressive perspective and viewpoint towards Maddox.
Yeah.
Because I actually was never on. I think I was on the show once or twice when I was a guest. But then I love how you're just constantly giving him shit. Because generally I'm like pretty positive. I like to give my little tips, make a couple jokes about chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, so you've been letting him get away with murder.
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be letting him get away with murder.
As moderator, you gotta keep Maddox.
I mean, I don't think that term actually means.
I would say at no point in time was he ever a moderator.
Yeah,
he never even tried to be a moderator.
All right, so I want to talk about. So let's guys, this is surreal for some people watching. They've never actually seen the three of us in the same place.
Yeah.
So what was it like? You guys came on board around the time that I left. What has that been like, Ron?
I mean, it was at the beginning. It was a little bit weird because I didn't know like the role you're supposed to play, and
Ron didn't. We didn't know each other.
Yeah, I had no idea. I met Taylor through the podcast, and the chat room's always kind of crazy, so you can't ever like listen to anything that's going on in the chat because I feel like that is a small segment of the listening population. So it's like you can't really read too much into what they're saying because it's always batshit crazy.
Yeah, I'm always surprised when Maddox tells me how many people are like listening to the podcast.
Yeah, the actual download numbers.
Well, he's probably just making that number up.
Oh,
anyway,
I'm sure,
Yeah.
but
but still, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's just nice. But I guess it was a little weird. I didn't know how to adjust, but I find that I do well when I just get to scream about food for a while. I feel like that's the thing that kind of makes me angry and gets me going, where it seems to be you is I like a lot of Maddox and political type stuff, more philosophy, more kind of things on more important things.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, food is essential though.
Yeah, but I mean, the shit we get mad about is like, this kind of fast food sucks. It's like shit that doesn't really matter.
You see me, if there was a box of Dominoes here, you would see what matters to me. I'd get very upset.
Now, I would say that when you were the co-host, the show definitely had a different tone. So the tone was a lot more...
shitting on Maddox?
It was more educational in tone versus once he became kind of the pseudo co-host, it became more on the comedy side.
More of a dick around time.
Well, I was told to be the moderator, so I held Maddox to the fire. I said, no, hold on, Maddox. What are you doing? You're supposed to do this.
Do you miss being on the show? Do you miss your role as moderator?
Like coming in here today, and I was thinking like, oh, wow, this is nostalgic. But then like 5 minutes into me bitching at Maddox, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if this was a positive thing I was doing. Like, was this therapeutic, Kelly? Was it therapeutic, or was this an abusive relationship?
I think abusive. I'm going abusive with that one.
So interesting.
I don't even know, but I'm going to say abusive too.
Yeah.
Right.
Just safe default assumption.
Yeah.
So your question was the transition between you and then Ron. So were you guys ever together on the same episode several times in a row, or was it just a swap?
No, just once.
Okay.
I think, and Rucka, to be honest, I found super intimidating.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a really big dude.
You lean back and you get all fired up. You're like, oh, okay. And then you're like, well, what about this? And you're like, I don't know. I didn't think about that shit. And then you're very forceful, very strongly opinionated about what you believe. And for someone who doesn't necessarily have as many strong opinions about stuff, when you're met with someone who's like, well, what about this? You're just kind of like,
But did you find, did he ever like awaken deeper opinion? Like you just say you don't have opinions, but maybe when he pushes them, you're like, I do have a fucking opinion on that.
I guess, yeah, but
Okay to
sometimes
curse?
it's
Okay,
like,
right.
but
Absolutely.
a lot of it's like kind of based in how you grew up. So so a lot of times it's like, if I'm the type of person where I don't like to just like kind of spout my opinion right off the bat. Like I like to take things and like go back and think about it for a while. I think a lot of times we're fucking talking too much and we're never like actually sitting and be like, okay, let me think this through. And it takes me a while to like think shit through.
That's actually something Rucka told me, and I've like paid attention to. Like a couple of years ago on my birthday, you were like, Taylor, you need to start listening more, and I've been actively listening more.
Good.
Whenever I'm in a conversation.
That's good.
I would like. I think someone
I like that. Rucka's schooling
asked
people.
earlier, like, what kind of like I like that Maddox did bring us all together, because I knew you beforehand, but like in a lot of ways, I never would have met Therapist Kelly if Maddox didn't exist. So like the fact that he exists, like it's weird who you become connected to in life, just peripherally.
Just bonded the two.
I actually don't know your name. My name. Hi, I'm Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
I'm
Christina.
I'm the new host of this show.
You're doing a great job.
You are doing
Thank
a
you.
great job, and you're I'm not being sarcastic. You're making the women comfortable. Is that true? He's a very personable, friendly guy right now, and it's working.
I also sound like a girl, so like if you're a listener, you might
There it is.
confuse me as one of you.
Yeah. Totally.
So when you came on the show, when you became a regular, did you become a regular immediately, or was it like you just showed up a couple times in a row and then all of a sudden you're the
showed up a couple times and was like, you want to keep doing this? I go, sure. I'm not doing anything else on a Saturday. And it was actually really fun. Got to meet a lot of really cool people who come through. And I'm a little bit not as plugged into the whole YouTube world, so I found it fascinating.
Well, neither is Maddox, obviously. He never posts anything.
Yeah, you post on social media just about as much as Maddox does.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Maddox produces many more podcasts than most people. But as far as content, I never see much from him. Anyway, I'll wait for him to get back.
What's your favorite kind of stuff that, I mean, of all the stuff, podcasts, tweets, like what's the thing that you always really enjoy that you wish he would do more of?
For me or from him?
if you could
From
tell
him.
him, be like, hey, this is what you got to do.
So I was barely familiar. I knew of his website back in the day, but then when I saw him on YouTube in like 2011, I thought it was the funniest thing and such a great adaptation of his style to video form. So I've always told him, you're a YouTuber. Like, you're a natural-born video.
I said the same fucking thing. I was like, dude, listen, like, the podcast is fun. It's really great, but, like, just let's end it and then just make fucking videos. He's like, because people really like that. And they have the tendency, like, a podcast, you have your following. But a video can go, I don't know if we can use this term anymore, viral. I don't know what the term is.
Sure, if there's like
Why
a
can't you use that
genius
term?
funny moment,
I don't
it
know.
gets spread around. Whereas like the podcast, it's a little less spread worthy.
You have
like you can't. It's harder to spread. You're like, go to like minute 21:52. You'll laugh so hard.
You
That's
can
harder
cut up
to
shareables and stuff like that, but I've
regulate.
always been like, dude, make videos like that. I want to see you commenting on stuff that's going on right now, because he can turn and burn videos when he puts his mind to it. He has all his stuff dialed in.
Yeah,
he loves
just
the
need
tech shit.
Support to shift. What a good friend.
Well, I think one of the things you're really touching
So
on is
sweet.
It's not even about virality. It's about simply discovering. Like, the fact that I can tell people I was on Maddox's podcast, there are so many people who have been like, Maddox has a podcast? I remember reading his blog. And there's just a difficulty in discovering any podcast. Like,
That's a good point, actually. It is like, how do people find out new? I mean, I guess you go appear on other people's podcasts and, you know, that's how you try and grow your base.
And also having, like, literally what you do is go on other shows and then, and bring on guests who already have followings. And
Right.
then they promote it.
I've been watching a lot more Twitch lately. I don't know if any of you guys Twitch, but like that's...
Do you really think I Twitch, Taylor?
What the hell is Twitch? I don't even know.
So Twitch is a live streaming platform that originally was called Justin TV. It was then rebranded as Twitch and was sold to Amazon. It is now
For
one
like
of the
$1 billion.
largest... Right. It's one of the largest video game, primarily video game streaming content, but it's evolved more and more to be personality based.
Kelly, it is people on there are bigger than TV shows. There's so many people on this goddamn thing that you've never heard of, and I've barely heard of.
Well, you've heard of Ninja.
I'm like a grandma. Like at this table, like I should just put in my dentures and like call it a night. Like, I don't know any of this shit.
We are pretty young and hip.
I have been in a number of commercials.
Serious, like I'm like under a rock here.
Back when I was a
There's always
commercial
something
actor,
new you haven't heard about.
I was on a number of commercials for Twitch, and I had no idea when they first came out, and I was like, "This is never gonna go anywhere." And then I was talking about Twitch in these commercials.
Wait, no way. What were you on commercials for?
They're like they just like those bumpers that I guess they used to have bumpers on Twitch, and they had a bunch of like weird silent bumpers for Twitch, and I was like one of the character actors.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
They've tried to get me in a suit, like this big Twitch monster. It was like also a partnership with like Code Mountain Dew, like Code Red Energy, and that's when I found out that I'm super claustrophobic. And when they put like the thing on me, I can't have that kind of stuff on me. Right. And I used to always get cast for that kind of shit. So like one time I was an arrow, like a cursor. And I was in rigging, I was like flying around a green screen, and like I actually like passed out in the mouse cursor costume, and they had like wake me up because I was like, I was having like it was totally non-union. I was having like panic attacks. It was awful. It was fucking.
For the audience, I have to say it's actually very funny to me. It's very funny, and I wonder, is this not like? It's very funny that those things kept coming your way. Like I've been auditioning always. I've never been like, hey, get into this costume. So, do you feel like there's something, maybe isn't that like a sign that it's something you want to overcome? Like where are the panic attacks coming from?
I think it's just
did your siblings put you in a suitcase as a child and you're claustrophobic?
Oh my God,
what's going on?
The worst thing as a kid to me is being my brother would cover me with a blanket, and he would cut down all the sides, and then in high school once I was on the jumping team, like we did high jump.
He was on the jumping team.
You have to like fix the mats that you jump on, and so you would undo the zipper and you go in and you put all the cushion like down, because it would get wrinkled inside. And then the guys, I remember going in, nobody liked to do it because they would always close the zipper on the outside, and then you couldn't get out.
Oh my God,
that's really
and
scary.
it was like
terrifying.
And I remember like trying not to have a freak out in front of all like my high school like dickhead friends on this like track and field team, and I remember totally having a freak out because it's just it's the heat.
Yeah, that's awful.
The heat of it makes
get
me
it.
claustrophobic.
Well, the point is anyone would freak out.
Absolutely.
So I got a question.
Well, there you go.
Did you like the parachute game in elementary school?
I love the parachute game.
So how did you
But
not?
it's big
That's
and it's
different.
open,
And you know
and
it's
there's
open.
there's an
And you can let
opening
yourself
up.
out. Yeah.
Why did we like the
Voluntary.
parachute game so much?
Because it's voluntary.
I still love that game. I still love that game.
The only thing I can think of is that it like replicates the womb in some way.
I don't actually
Rucka
know
knows
what that
I'm
is.
talking
I
about.
just was like,
The parachute game?
yeah.
It's
Wait,
the
what?
So imagine a big parachute the size of a circle, and it has different colors, so it's like rainbow colored.
So maybe I did this once, and all the kids
shake
are
it.
there. Is
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
class there?
and you you lift it up,
shake
and
it.
then they say bring it down.
Yeah.
And
Sit
then
on it.
Sometimes people can run across.
Okay.
And then sometimes they put a ball in the center, and you shake it, and you try and like
okay.
toss it over to
okay.
certain
I think
people.
I have a memory.
If you're just tuning in, Maddox
this
is in the
one.
bathroom taking a massive poop, and we are
Dill.
we started talking about
taking a
what
dump.
existed.
Do you think his like poops are super like Maddox style, like all fucking
I
hard
imagine
and
like
angry?
a really long log, like really long.
My shits are better than your
Yeah, I
kids.
don't want to imagine this at all.
Well, one of the things I
I'm
wanted
in poop
to ask
denial.
you guys-
Oh, he's
Maybe we
back.
should talk about my childhood.
Maddox, what do your poops look like? We were debating that.
Is there a common
Yeah.
trend for them?
My poops. Okay, so it depends on what I eat, obviously. So
Okay.
that makes a big difference. But
It does?
yeah, if I so there's a difference between a protein poop and a carb poop.
Got
you know
it.
what? You know, right?
Yeah.
You know, Christina. I know you know.
Yes, I'm very into nutrition, and there used to be a show, a British show called "You Are What You Eat," and she would examine
that.
everyone's poop.
I fucking
Oh my
love that
God.
You know
show.
it?
I love
Shut
that show.
up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would watch that.
Yeah,
It
I
was-
would be like, I'd be on my way to the gym. My roommate had it on TV. I'd sit down. We'd watch like 3 episodes in a row instead of going to the gym.
Wait, she would
So-
examine their poop?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but she called it. I'm like, I'm going to
Stool.
take a look at your poo.
Shut
No,
up.
she'd say you
stew.
stew.
Oh my God. Is
It's
it
like
still
the stool
exist?
is a
I need
bit
to watch
hard, and you can see. I don't even know what she'd say. It's
Oh my
the
God.
rubbery texture.
I'm watching
They're
the show.
obviously eating plastic. Oh, and she was a really like hard ass. You know, like
Wait,
her
what was it
personality
called?
was.
I'm going to watch this.
You are what you eat.
Done. I'm on it.
It's amazing.
This is so me.
Yeah, and she goes into the house and puts on the table everything that they've eaten for the whole week, so you can examine it. Yeah.
See, I
that's
eat
it.
so healthy, but my poops are like rabbit poops. Like literally like
Well, that's interesting because I think of like healthy poop as like kind of the fibrous, like
of like
fluffy poop.
no.
I hope someone clips just this part of the show and puts it everywhere to
exactly
just,
to talk. I'm okay talking about
just
my bunny
talking
poops.
about your poop.
Taco's poop.
No, you can tell a lot by someone's stool, right?
You can tell a lot.
Okay, I'll tell you my
everything.
weirdest poop I've ever had, and
Yeah.
this only happened to me one time.
Okay.
Oh God.
I tried to repeat it, and I know the conditions under which it happened. But you know you remember those drinks that were really popular in like the mid 2000s and like around that time, the
Energy drink?
Sobe.
Oh yeah.
Sobe,
Okay, yeah,
remember
I
they
know
came in
Sobe.
the Sobe drinks, which I thought was like kind of like a healthy drink, and I was like, oh cool, I'm drinking a Sobe. But
That's funny. You thought it was healthy?
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's iced
Yeah.
tea. I should drink more tea.
No, that was when they were like, I feel like people are a little bit savvier now about healthy food, but like that was the phase where they were still like slapping like healthy things onto things, and you were like, oh wow, and then it
You
says like
believed it.
35 grams of sugar on the back or something.
Exactly. So what happened? So you had
AK vitamin water.
Yeah, so I drank the pina colada sobe, which is a white drink. And I don't remember what else I ate. Maybe just some Twizzlers.
Oh my
And
God.
this happened one time and one time only.
Oh my
but I
God.
had a totally white log.
No.
Yeah, swear to God.
Oh, it's the dye. It's the dye.
Well,
in
that's
it.
what I thought. So I thought, okay, I'll repeat it because that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
And I was never able to repeat it again. I tried to like empty my stomach and just have a sobe and thinking like, that's it. I got to have a white poop again.
Nothing.
It only happened one time.
That was it.
Yeah.
Did you take a photo
So
of this? Please tell me
scary.
you did.
That's
No,
so
I didn't. I
scary.
do sometimes take a photo. Oh, you guys want to hear my grossest poop story?
No.
No.
Yes, I actually do.
Okay, Christina,
have
you're the
one.
tiebreaker.
Great
Oh, you got
content.
one. You go first, and then I'll
Okay.
tell you mine.
I was in India, of course.
Of course,
Exactly. It starts that
a
way.
lot of poop stories start out in India.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I had already gotten sick, and like they'd already given me all these different meds. Like I was at the friend's wedding, and it was international, and all these people they brought stuff from. Like there's better drugs over the counter in Thailand, you know what I mean? And they so the guy from Thailand had brought like better stuff, so they gave it all to me, and I was like on the mend. But we got on this bus to go to this resort from the city. And I don't know, it's a couple hours, but I knew that I couldn't go very long without, so I'm like hanging in there. And finally I was like, oh my God, we have to stop the bus. Like I have to stop somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like that's it. I waited as long as I can. And then like the bus driver kind of ignored me for a while. So then and I'm like, they're ignoring me. And I'm just like, guys, I'm going to shit on the bus. like seriously, like get him to stop the bus. Like I don't even feel well enough to, advocate for myself. So finally they get him to pull over, and it's like whatever, this market shop or something. By going, I'm like bathroom, and they point upstairs. I run upstairs. I don't remember if there's no toilet, there's no water, something like this. Like and I just like look around. There's a sink.
Oh no! This is like Bridesmaids all
no.
over again.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
You do it in the sink, dude.
That's right.
Done.
That's what you do. That is what you do.
Taylor and Raka are both like really grossed out. You're grossed out by poop stories, huh?
Well, I hate when it's probably because girls are talking about it. It's like, is that?
I'm pretty grossed out. I'm grossed out to hear yours. It was hard for me to share that story. I didn't share it for years. That was like years ago, and this is maybe like one of the first times I've shared it in full.
I got one that's kind of like a feat, like one of those things. So this the topic. If you're just joining us, guys, we've got in the room therapist Kelly, Christina, we've got Rucka and Taylor, our news babe Taylor.
The comment says, "Are these women doctors?"
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Of life.
Yeah, I'll make you feel
Of
better.
poop.
So I was in my one of my old apartments, and I was with a friend who we were just watching TV or something. I'm like, hang on, I'm gonna go drop a deuce. He's like, all right. So I go to the bathroom, and I'm in there, and I'm like, I'm doing my business. I'm letting loose, and I noticed something unusual about this turd after about 20 seconds. Okay. And already 20 seconds, like that's a long time. That's a long time. You're pushing the mic away, Taylor. You want to push your headphones away, buddy. That's a long time for one turd, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I going to be able to use my turd cutter on this thing? So it keeps going and going
God.
and going.
It's very hard to hear these stories.
For like, I swear it was upwards of 40, 50 seconds. I'm like, oh my God, it still hasn't cut.
No.
And I was like, there's no way. How's this possible? And I thought it must be just going straight down the hole somehow, like a perfect aim, like a bullseye right down the shithole. And then finally I noticed like all good things have to come to an end. Final episode, guys. You're welcome for this story and this beautifully put together episode. But finally, I feel like, okay, this is it. It's tapering. This is the end, right? This is the end of my turd. It's finally gonna cut.
So hard to listen to. Okay,
finally, the end came.
Please.
The poop stopped, and then it fell over like a log and tapped the back of my balls. I swear to God, that was...
I'm more concerned that Ruckus said one word. He said one word in like 5 minutes.
I've just been kind of spacing out, waiting for this segment to...
Well, that's it. That's the whole segment. All right.
Gross.
So let's
gross.
talk about some of the other debate topics.
Why I'm going to keep eating healthy. I just can't even... I don't have the capacity to cope with such traumatic poop experiences.
We got a voicemail from Germany. Listen to this.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's the German.
German caller.
Hello, Maddox. This is the German guy calling in again. I don't want to waste any time replying to those ridiculous caller call-outs. I just want to thank you for making this show, even though you made some mistakes every once in a while. It helped me learn a lot about the English language. I laughed a lot. And yeah, I hope you have exciting things planned for the future. Punch a Nazi.
Hey, thank you. Punch a Nazi to you, too. And that means a lot coming from Germany.
That was cute.
Well, I'm sure all the Philly cheesesteaks loyalists would be like, oh, just because Nazis came from Germany doesn't mean that they know Nazis more than other people. Like, when can we just acknowledge that the creator of a sandwich or the creator of a certain type of food is supposed to be the best of that type of food? Like, if you go to Italy and have really disappointing pizza, wouldn't you say, okay, pizza's kind of a shit food? Would you say that?
If it's from Domino's.
Okay. You know what, Rucka? You've never been to Italy, have you?
True.
Okay. I've been to Italy.
No, wrong. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah? Uh-huh. What are you doing? What's going on there?
Wait, no, I mean... Where's the good one?
What?
Where's the... I don't have a real buzzer.
Yeah, well...
Anyway, no, you're wrong. I landed in Italy for a connecting flight. So you're wrong.
Did you leave the airport?
No.
It doesn't count if you didn't leave the airport.
Yes, it does.
No,
I'm
it
just
doesn't.
interrupting,
No,
but I just
was in
noticed
Italy.
that my dog Taco just keeps laying near Rucka. Like he really has an affinity for him. It's so sweet.
It's shocking.
Yeah, he's like, let me go lay under Rucka.
They're not like Maddox. Dogs, they kind of know the truth.
Wait,
sorry.
I kind of want to. No, it wasn't about the burp. I kind of want to hear what you were going to say about the pizza. Then we got off track.
So the pizza in Italy, in Rome, is most similar to pizza from Domino's. And the pizza that we have here in the room today. The pizza in Italy is like American chewy pizza. And people think like, oh, I'm going to go to Italy and I'm going to have a real pizza pie. And like you go there. Yeah, you go there and they have like shit ton of toppings on it. It's not just fucking cheese like dipshit New York pizza where it's like greasy and flops over. You still have to fold it up like a calzone. You're making a fucking paper airplane out of pizza. That shit. And then
no, I
everyone's...
definitely prefer New York pizza.
Do you really?
Too.
Oh, no.
But you know what? She lived.
My God.
Me too.
Like, what are you talking about? Of course, I like New York pizza.
Are you from New York originally?
Yeah. I mean, yes. My early years were like upstate New York, and my mom was in Manhattan. I kind of like went back and forth. Went to college in New York.
Let me just get one thing off my chest that's important to me, and
From
probably
Minnesota are nice. I knew I liked you. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I was just talking.
I don't want to set these two up.
These
Like,
guys,
I feel like-
Taylor and Rucka?
I was talking about my type, and then you made your comment about your high voice, and I'm totally into
She's
that.
like, she likes your type. I'm not kidding. Like,
Actually, Robert outside too was saying I can't grow a beard. I left this out. I've noticed I date hairless men.
Wait, who was Robert? The young dude?
The guy
out
whose
there?
armpit I explored.
Oh yeah, he's
take
cute.
my hat off
He's
here.
cute.
Turns out he can't grow a beard. I was like, whoa, that's my type.
Oh, that's your thing, huh?
Low testosterone and men.
Exactly. You're down. You're down.
Hey, speaking of low T, what were you going to say, Taylor?
Yeah. What were you going to say, Taylor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was
I
Rucka.
pointed
It was
to Justin to Rucka and I said Taylor.
Low T.
Like either one, whoever,
Well,
Rucka, what were you going to say?
This isn't as interesting as her type,
Yeah.
but no, I'm serious. That was like I wanted that to continue. But I was in Detroit recently. I had some Little Caesars. I've strongly spoken out and condemned them on this very show.
I've never
Worse
been.
than Domino's?
I've never been in there. I have no idea.
Much worse. But
I would say, Domino's is not bad.
But
garlic chicken with pineapple.
Fuck whatever I was going to say.
Please continue.
But recently, it seems Little Caesars, they seem to have done away with their shitty $5 hot and sloppy, cold and old.
Is that what they call it? Is that what you
Yes.
call it? Yeah.
The dog left.
I had a slice of their deep dish, and it was actually like somewhat decent. And I just want to put that out there for closure for people out there who've heard me talk about Little Skeezers, and they have some Little Seizures. Anyway, What are we going to talk about?
I always find it funny that all these pizza places like Pizza Hut, Domino's, they always have like one table inside for you to eat at if you're just that sad that you go in and you order a pizza there and then you take it to the table and then you eat it in the restaurant where the cashier's literally feet away.
Yeah, but I was thinking, or just that hungry. Like how many, I'm always like getting the food right when I'm starving.
Me too.
I'm like,
If
I'm
you're
mad,
that hungry, you're not getting pizza.
I'm mad when there isn't like a thing. Like I'm like, where's the tabletop so that I can hoover this right as I step away from the cashier?
I'm with you. Yeah, I would eat at that sad table.
I actually just
If I
got
was
mad
hungry.
I was at Creation Cafe and like the 2 little stump tables were taken. I was like, why aren't there 4 seats at this stump table? I'm going to sit with the person I don't know. I need to eat now.
Man, Creation Cafe, that place is some bullshit. So
In
I,
Venice?
It's true.
In Venice?
It's-
That one?
There's one on
it's-
Larchmont.
Yeah, there's one everywhere. It's like it's a smoothie place that they have in
it's
LA.
true.
It's
And
like
it's
$100 for
yeah,
like a
it's-
smoothie. Yeah.
It's the
No,
only
it's
place
vulgar for sure.
It's the only place I've ever gone and ordered something, and they warned me about the price. And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." It was like, well, actually, there's
They're
like
like,
one other place.
2 smoothies. That's gonna run you a lot.
Yeah, I walked into a Beverly Hills, one of those like weird marble furniture and lawn chair type places one time. The guy from the back comes out, looks at me, and turns around and walks back in. Anyway, this was like this Creation smoothie bar. I ordered one of these smoothies because I'm like, oh yeah, it's got a bunch of shit I like in it, sure. And the guy literally interrupts me and he says, do you know that smoothie is $21? And I said, no, thanks for the warning. I'm not buying a fucking $21 smoothie. Go fuck yourself. Are you? How dare you? Where did you get off charging this much
My
for it?
smoothie wasn't $21 there, but you're right. So you grabbed like the most expensive smoothie there.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
It was the only thing that looked good on the menu, and the rest of the shit is like beatnik, alfalfa.
Just pay for it. It's probably good.
I am not spending $21 on a fucking smoothie.
Aren't you curious? See, this is the difference between him and me.
I know what's
Aren't
in it.
you
I put that
curious?
shit in. It's just like, it's nothing in it but cacao.
Oh,
nibs.
really? Why
Yeah.
go to Italy and taste their pizza? I know what's in it. It's dough, marinara. Obviously, there's something to it, or it wouldn't cost $21.
Yeah, it's just
dollars. Excuse me, dollars.
I didn't say dollars.
Was there olives in the smoothie?
There was no
For
olives.
$21.
I said
no olives.
I said olives just
Hold on.
fine.
Which
Do I say
college
olives
was
just
this
fine?
at? Which college?
College. Do I say college wrong?
You say olives.
There is a little like emphasis on the O.
Okay.
Can't speak English.
What's the most perfect thing about Maddox? That's the debate topic.
Still on that?
That's what
Oh
we're
God,
doing.
we're back to this.
There was
Hey.
an episode he said Illinois, and he had
I
an
think
S
you're-
at the end.
I think your subtle accent is what's perfect about Maddox.
I'm going to call it subtle, but it is an accent.
Is that a Utah accent?
Your affect
I don't
when you
have an
speak
accent.
is interesting and holds my attention because you slightly different vowels.
See? How about that, Taylor? I want to take notes. Here's a voicemail about Fat Sal's. Fat Sal's, there's the famous sandwich place. Basically, it's a sandwich place where they put a bunch of bullshit bar food on your
Yeah,
sandwich.
no, I don't know it. I eat at Creation Cafe. What?
Well, if you ever
Fat what? I couldn't hear anymore after fat.
Fat Sal.
Fat Sal's is a sandwich shop where they basically they put like chicken tenders, pastrami, mozzarella sticks, French fries, ranch,
Oh my God.
Onion rings.
and cheese and onion rings,
Jalapeno
all
poppers.
one sandwich.
Wow.
And this is what you ate when you had the poop that hit your balls.
Exactly.
No, I would.
Very good.
So
But-
it basically just came straight through and like
exactly.
exited in exactly the same shape.
Yeah.
I think Sal, a turtle from Entourage, is part owner of it. I think
I
it's
think
named
you're right.
It's named
Yeah.
after him because that was his name on the show, Sal.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here's a voicemail about Fat Sal's, the guy who created that place. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. I can't believe the show's coming to an end. Man, it's crazy, though, the last episode you brought up Fat Sal, because it reminded me, my grandmother, who's since passed away, told me the story. One of a friend of hers was out to this party, and she ended up coming home early. And she gets through the front door, and she hears this weird noise coming from her bedroom. And she walks in, and her husband is there getting his dick sucked by none other than Fat Sal himself.
Wow.
I don't know, man. It's a fucking crazy story. I don't know why she'd make it up. Anyway, man, love the show. I can't believe it's coming to an end. Love all you guys. All the best. Punch a whale, fucking Nazi, all that good shit. Love you guys.
Wow.
Peace.
Forgot about that meme.
Yeah, that's old school.
The getting the dick sucked and the punch a Nazi.
So, a long time ago, it turns out that John Wayne, a caller called in, said that his grandma knew John Wayne and once walked into the house because, like, they would all hang out together. They went to their, their summer cabin, and she walked in on John Wayne and on her husband sucking John Wayne's dick. And so, or the other way around.
it was
like,
gay.
He was gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that we broke that news here on Madcast Media. Anyway, here's another voicemail. This is an old school fan. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. Big fan here. Been reading your website since 2003. And I gotta tell you, love the podcast, love the website. And I'm gonna share with you my favorite thing that hooked, line, and sunk me into reading everything you've ever written. Think this is just some ordinary snack? Hell no, you fucking idiot. This is banana assault. Banana chips with a bad attitude. Eat this snack or go to hell. I remember you used to always brag on your website you would draw everything in MS Paint. So that's just some more OG cred towards you, bro. Going miss the best debate, but like you said, sure you got some other stuff coming up, and I would put an insult in here, but in all honesty, bro, pretty fucking legit. I've loved everything you've written all these years. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wow, what a random
That was-
voicemail you just happened to play. It wasn't completely complimenting you or anything.
Can we play some voicemails
really
that are
sweet.
like, I just don't really like the show that much?
Yeah,
I
maybe
felt
this
like,
is good
I felt
news.
like he was masturbating doing that.
Yeah, probably.
Creepy.
You have an ear for that.
Yeah.
No, I do get those. I do get those voicemails, and I do play them. I don't get them that often. I don't.
But
Well,
masturbating while
a little bit of a-
while they praise you.
if you guys are watching
Are
on
you
YouTube,
sure?
I don't know if you can tell. There's a little bit of a blush going on. This is interesting, Christina.
I can't tell. You're
can't
still
tell.
the same dark brown.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, actually, no, I do see some of it red now.
Yeah, is that what it is?
I thought you were
Is
just
it my
angry
eyes?
again.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
you were
my
pissed
eyes.
off as usual.
That's what it is. The Rucka brings out the blush in my eye. Here's another voicemail. This one's
Maddox
about,
is excited to inspire that. That's great.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I do. At least I'm inspiring something, some kind of emotion.
Pleasure.
Yeah, that's right. It is pleasure. And speaking of pleasure, here's a voicemail. He mentions you and Taylor, Rucka.
Oh,
Listen to
wow.
this.
Small
What's
world.
up again, Max? Just wanted to drop some love to you guys for doing the show the last couple of years. Picked it up last summer. Fucking awesome. You opened my eyes to a bunch of new talent that I've never listened to before. Like, I didn't know anything about Rucka. I love him. Musical parodies are hilarious. Ron sounds like Ernie from Sesame Street when he laughs, which is fucking great. Taylor sounds hot as shit. I never watched it on YouTube, but I bet you she's hot as fuck. Of course, you yourself are the man. Jimmer can go fuck himself. Anyway, man, peace. I can't wait to hear more of your content moving forward.
Yeah,
Lots of love.
if you guys want to just keep pretending I'm a girl, I go for it. I'm fine with it.
No, it's so funny. That's been a long-running joke
really funny.
because so many people, when Taylor first started on the show, I guess your voice is higher pitched than people are used to.
You guess?
I guess. I'm guessing.
No,
that's,
it is absolutely
That's his
a very high-pitched
understanding.
voice.
He doesn't
Listen,
make any assertions.
This beautiful one loves your voice. She's like all about it. So
Yeah.
this is a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm dating a guy with a high voice right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's it.
That's
I
her
know
thing.
that's it.
That's her thing. I love it. But
I mean, I've
That's a
dated men
weird-
with deep voices too.
I'm just going to have to take a cold shower, but Taylor, get in line.
exactly.
Does taking a cold shower make your voice more high pitched, Rucka?
Yeah. It's cold.
Well, I think the joke was she's into guys with a high voice, and my voice is a little bit deeper, so I'm not going to be getting any love. So I got to
But-
take a
No,
cold
she said
shower.
she likes voices, deeper voices
They've
too.
been
Oh, I thought she
they've
said
made
she's into
it
high voice.
into the into the pantheon.
The
but they're-
pantheon.
Yeah, but they're not.
Oh, sorry.
It's not
I need to
common.
start listening when women speak.
I was going to say, actually, his deep voice, I was like, I can't even hear him. That's why I kept talking over him. It's like,
That's what it is.
I only hear the high voices.
I kind of like the idea
yes,
that, like,
Tyler?
for this last episode, we're just going on, and like it's like the ultimate troll is like, how long can this episode actually be?
We can outlast. We have stamina.
Yeah,
we
we could be here for days.
days. We got another voicemail from our own Tremaine Hayho. Rucka introduced me to Tremaine, right? You introduced me, or you introduced me to
Pretty much
Bradley
anyone you know that's produced content, through me.
That's wrong.
No?
No.
Oh.
And here's a voicemail from Tremaine. It was kind of cutting out, but I tried to clean it up as much as I could, and I brought it in. Here it is.
Thanks. It's hey ho here. Wanted to wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. But honestly, though, great job with your debate. No, just kidding. I mean, it was a lot of fun being on the show the couple times that I was on. But hey, every great thing must come to an end. Now, guys, watch Share on Amazon Prime. Thank you guys so much. And also Maddox, I'm filming a new movie. If you want to make a little cameo, let me know.
Yeah.
All right, man. And
Didn't
I'm
he
looking
cut
forward to
your
seeing more
last one?
videos on your main channel. All right, buddy. Bye.
He cut your last cameo.
No, I was in
No,
it.
he was in
I
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it didn't make it to the final cut.
It didn't make it to the screening, the premiere.
The premiere, yeah. It was not.
I went to the premiere to see Maddox in that movie.
Wait, which one?
Rideshare. Bradley Lieberman, who's in the green room, was the star of that movie. Which we should get Bradley and Rob on too at some point. And then we got to wrap up the show, guys. And I have a big finale for some of the voicemail. And I do want to talk about my future projects, some of the things we're going to be doing in the future, as well as the bonus episodes, which we're going to do more of. We will be having a lot more content on the bonus episodes. I'm still going to produce those. Those will be fun. Those are Maddox versus the universe, and those have been no holds barred. In fact, we got a super chat here, Rucka, from someone who says, that guy says, the super chat is for Rucka. If you can old school shit on Maddox for us all, like it's 2016, I'll send you some more. And that was for $5. And so we're gonna have a lot more of those. We're gonna wrap up some voicemail. Excuse me, the bonus episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Now the bonus episodes are gonna be really fun because we're going to break format. Traditionally, they've been kind of a.
Whoa!
You know what, fuckface? That's a little too much sarcasm. You could have done just the right amount of sarcasm, but you went overboard, fuckface. That's what that was right there. Yeah. Here, you know what, Taylor? No, you.
All I'm trying to do is get
ready?
asshole of the podcast.
Here you go.
I was just using this thing.
I hate to say it.
Of the week.
Oh, that's it. Douchebag. Yeah. Douchebag.
Douchebag. There's no big. What do you say?
I'm going to scuttle out and give.
Oh, you have to bounce. Yeah.
Yes, I have singing to do in Santa Monica.
Oh, you gotta
High pitched voice.
Fa la 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 la.
Are you
Do I
going
have
to
to
be
what?
playing on the dock?
Good question. No, I'm going to be in an apartment with a mic and headphones like this.
Oh, is you recording music?
Singing.
I guess we don't really need to talk about this right now.
It's sort of like 80s synth pop. Actually, the group's New Mood with a D. You can find it
New
on
Mood
SoundCloud.
with a D?
New Mood.
How do you
with a
typically
D.
spell New Mood?
Well, I say that because everyone thinks I say New Moon. You have to be like, New Mood. You know what I mean? You have to be like, I'm the band New Mood.
You got to really hit that D.
New Moon was one of the Twilight sequels.
Yeah, right, and it's not New Moon.
No.
I
would have thought it was New Move. So
right, exactly. So what do you recommend, Maddox? Like, how do you hit that D at the end? Like, do I have to go New Mood?
If there's anyone who knows how to hit that D.
Yeah.
You know, it's the enunciation.
How do you hit it?
It's all on the lips. The enunciation. You really got the lips and the roof of your mouth. That's how you hit that D.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
So I interrupted you talking about the.
You sure did, Taylor.
All right. Well, hold on.
I'm out.
Hey, thank you. It
Thank
was
you,
very,
Christina.
very nice
So
of
much.
you to come.
Very lovely having you, Christina.
Brought much joy to many people, Maddox.
Thank you so much. We wish you well, and
Thank you, Rocca.
best
Thank
of
you,
luck.
Taylor.
Yeah, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Taco. Don't forget the dog.
Don't forget
I
Taco.
I definitely won't forget him. Please, you guys
Please
would be
don't.
lucky.
Yeah. Okay, and if you see anyone still out there, feel free to send them back. Yeah. Okay.
Give him a nice cuddle on your way out.
What were you gonna say, Rucka?
I don't remember. Finish your point.
What was? what was the point before Taylor's fuck ass over the top sarcasm? What were we even talking
about your bonus.
Oh, the bonus
series.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were gonna break format. Oh, any more sarcasm there, Taylor? No sarcasm. Look, it's
Ron's
not.
back.
Hey,
Yeah.
welcome back, Ron.
Hell yeah.
I was saving some more voicemail for you too. Ron, we talked about this too, so we can kind of hit on this. But the bonus episodes are Maddox versus the universe, and we are going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to break format on that. Some of them will have Ron on them. Some of them will have Zach. Maybe some people in this room. We'll see. But I'm also going to talk about, guys. This is kind of weird, but I've been having this problem with leeches. And I'm going to talk about my problem with leeches on these bonus episodes. That's coming at some point in the future. You'd be surprised how bad parasites are. They just sit in your stomach and your gut, just eating your shit like tapeworms. It's really, really weird. But, I'll talk about that problem and the antibiotics I might have for those. It'll be a lot of fun. But that's all coming down the pipe. We're going to do those, but I absolutely need a break from this podcast in particular because it takes so much time every week, and that's on top of the Godzilla podcast, which you guys can listen to. I'm still going to be producing the Godzilla podcast at madcastmedia.com with my co-host Haley Mancini. She's very lovely, very delightful. It's a lot of fun. It's a totally different style of podcast.
How much is there to say about Godzilla?
Yeah, well, why don't you listen to the 2 episode? You'd be surprised. There's so many. First of all, there's 3 different eras of Godzilla. And first of all, Godzilla starts out as kind of a horror.
You had to get him started. You had to get him started.
There's so much to talk about Godzilla. But anyway, a lot more coming down the pipe, and people are like, well, there's only like 30 Godzilla movies. What else are you going to talk about? Have you ever heard of fucking cartoons, dipshit? Or graphic novels, video games, merchandise, live events, the hotel in Tokyo? There's so much Godzilla stuff. I can talk about
Yeah,
Godzilla.
he's going to do a whole episode on a T-shirt.
You know, you know what, Taylor? Maybe I might. Maybe I'll replace that chair with a T-shirt.
Do it.
Fine.
Does anyone want a free T-shirt? Yeah. What? That was brilliant.
Hey, here's another voicemail. Ron, you talked about the Juicy Lucy last time. Kelly, we had a debate episode last week, which was what's the goofiest local, what was it? The goofiest regional dumbass food?
Yep. Oh.
Yeah. Here's a voicemail about that. Listen to this.
Hi, this message is for Rod Dadcock. Heard you talking about the Juicy Lucy. I happen to live in a neighboring suburb of Minneapolis and have my whole life. I have been to the very restaurant or bar. It's called Matt's, and it's the very place that invented the Juicy Lucy. And it was terrible. It was god-awful. But I have had a Juicy Lucy at a now defunct bar in a little podunk town, and it was amazing. So, I don't know. I'm not trying to defend it. I personally don't like, ooh, we put the cheese on the inside. You know, like you say, you got to be careful. So, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a good point. I went to the bar that invented it, and it was garbage. But
You did too.
I went to that. I went to the exact one that he said. So maybe I gotta try one more.
Do you know what a Juicy Lucy is, Kelly?
No, I have no idea. I'm very curious.
They put the cheese inside the burger. What? That's
For
the
all
whole
my Minnesota peeps, you got to go to Blue Door.
Wait,
Blue Door.
so inside the hamburger, the cheese is inside?
Yeah, and then they cook it, and they just
Doesn't
pretend like
Father's
they're-
office do that in Santa Monica?
Probably. They
Yeah,
do like
it's
cheeseburger
dumb.
bombs. You put the cheese inside the burger, and you're just trying to blow your mind. You'd be like, it's just fucking, you're just taking away meat. You know? Like, there was meat there before that I wanted to eat, but you took it away so you could put, like, volcano-level temperature cheese in it.
Yeah, it sucks. And it also encapsulates all the grease. I do want to read a few more of these debate topics, because, again, I have 17 pages of this shit. Which is worse, being foolish or being judgmental? I think that's a fun one. Rucka, I think that'd be a fun one to debate with you.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know. Which is worse, you being foolish or me judging you for it?
Okay, great. Real good.
That's a good answer.
What's worse, being selfish or being an enabler? Both big problems. Disregard or idolatry? Pride or self-deprecation? Which is worse?
Is this coming from a therapist? Like, did you talk with another therapist?
No, these are
He's just using words that, like, without really defining them.
Oh, yeah, because it's called having an education, Rucka. I know you don't
Pride,
believe in
is that
shit.
what you learn in college?
Pride,
The definition of pride? What do you mean by pride?
Pride?
Yeah, do you mean the pride you feel when you when you
No,
make
not
a
that pride.
podcast, or does pride mean being an asshole because you're too quote unquote proud to listen to your spouse?
Well, yes, that's one version
so
of it. Yes, that
throwing
type of
words
pride.
around.
Well, we would obviously debate it if we were going to have this fucking debate, Rucka. We'd actually define these terms.
Why don't you use better terms that you don't need to explain what you mean?
Oh, sorry, I use words that can be used.
What was
in
it?
different ways in
Pride
different
versus
contexts.
what?
Pride versus self-deprecation.
How about narcissism versus self-deprecation? See, we know what we mean by narcissism. Pride could mean good thing or bad thing.
Well, we would define it if we were going to have that debate.
Okay.
wouldn't we?
When you say selfish versus what?
No, I didn't say selfish. Selfish wasn't a
Yes,
thing. on
it
here.
was
no,
one
it
of
wasn't.
the-
No, it wasn't. No, it
Selfish
wasn't.
or an enabler.
Oh, thank you, therapist Kelly.
Oh, yeah,
Somebody was listening.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. I did
Okay,
say it.
again, how about narcissistic versus enabler, or drug addict versus enabler?
Okay, but those aren't on the continuum. This comes from the continuum spectrum. This is the virtue
This is
continuum.
a stupid spectrum.
It's not a stupid spectrum.
This guy, he can't think independently, so he just lets he lets society just tell him what to believe. Oh, there's a spectrum
Can
now.
you? Because you can't debate what's given to you, so you have to change the terms so that
I don't
they
debate.
fit your fucking
You want me to
pigeonhole.
debate within the context of some false alternatives you've created?
Not false alternatives. You can choose between those two. Look, you can debate between narcissism and self-deprecation. Fine, but that's a different debate. I'm not saying.
No,
that's
it's not.
Yes, it is. That's a totally different
What
debate.
you mean by selfish is not thinking long term and being rational and being the best friend you can be so you have more friends. No, you mean selfish, you mean narcissism. So use the word narcissism or use the word short-sightedness.
You guys,
see?
You're just debating about what the debate could be.
Yes.
This
was
so...
99% of the shows we did where Matt would bring in some debate, and I had to argue with him about what the debate even is.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like the best debate in the universe is really just a story arc of these two, their love story.
I agree.
And this love story is about to become like complete. And I want to know if you guys are going to kiss or like, is someone the winner? Is someone the winner of this best debate?
Yes, it's me. We also have. So how about this one? Okay. What's better? Being cowardly or foolhardy? Foolhardy is basically, I would define. Oh no, you got to define.
I don't even know that word.
Oh yeah, well, why don't you get a fucking
Utah?
dictionary? Why don't you get some education? Why don't you go to
Foolhardy?
College?
Foolish? You mean?
College?
What's foolhardy?
Foolhardy, someone who's kind of reckless. That's the difference between. That's the
I'm not
opposite
just
of
saying
cowardice.
reckless. So what was it? Reckless versus what?
Because there's people who've been at college, Rucka. There are people
college.
College.
Oh, is that they teach you words like foolhardy in college?
Yes, foolhardy.
Or do you learn that in the ranch at Utah?
You know what? That's Utahist. Whatever the it's an anti.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a proud Utahist.
Yeah. If Utah was a religion, that would be equivalent.
What were the two alternatives on this spectrum?
Cowardice or foolhardy.
So recklessness or being cowardly?
Or being cowardly.
Well, I would say a person who's being reckless is too cowardly to look at reality and act with precision and grace. Right, Therapist Kelly? Isn't this what you teach people or help them learn every day? Yes.
I zoned out.
Did you do that during your session?
Sometimes.
When your clients are like,
yeah.
Hey, so what do you
Sometimes.
think? Oh, sorry, I zoned
I'm like,
out.
no, and then I'm like, well, if I'm not listening, I'm like, could you just reframe that?
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, exactly.
We got a recommendation from fans from time to time. This one's from Kai Peter Chang. I didn't get to this debate. He says, if geneticists discover a gene that predisposes people to racism, would you support the elimination or sterilization of individuals who carry that DNA?
Such gene, because
It's a hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical. Okay, if we wake up tomorrow and we live in a world where water is not wet, would you drink it? Like, what kind of stupid question is that?
I don't know, man. I just posed one on my Twitter.
There is no gene that makes you racist. That is a racist proposition to say that a gene could determine what you believe. Ooh, that felt good.
All right.
And that's my recommendation. You got to use
yo!
recommendation, right?
Segment.
Why didn't we have a recommendation?
It was right
That
there.
is so true.
Yeah.
It's a Rucka wrap-up. Instead, we got that. Is hunting the best way to save big game?
What's big game?
Like big game, like
Lions,
like elephants,
tigers,
lions.
bears,
Yeah.
oh my.
They're called big game? Oh,
Yeah.
because
Called big
they're
game,
the
yeah.
teams? The teams? What? Why are you laughing
Dude,
at
like
me?
big game
I did
hunt-
not come here to be mocked and disrespected.
Yeah,
What
big game hunting in Africa.
Oh.
You know, they do like big game, like elephants and giraffes.
Listen, I don't live in Africa. Contrary to what I might look like, I'm not from
I
Africa.
just love that you thought it was big game because of the
Yeah.
Sports.
teams. That would make dolphins big
So
game.
hunting is a good way to preserve hunting, then?
I don't know what.
Can you just explain it
Okay,
instead
here's
of being
the explanation
rude about it?
Oh, I just
Please
you guys
get on
ran
with
with
it.
a baton. You just ran with a baton. So here's what the
I don't know what
the
that
debate
means.
is. Of course,
What does ran with a baton mean?
it means the same thing as foolhardy. So it doesn't matter what
Have
I
I
say.
stepped into like the 1940s? You guys are speaking another dialect.
Yeah, it's called English. So
Good one.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's Maddox wrap up. So here's how hunting can save big game. When people pay permits to go like Cecil the lion, that guy the dentist who shot Cecil the lion, paid upwards of $50,000 to go hunt that lion or a lion, and he happened to kill Cecil. And they tend to pick out lions in the wild that are really old because they're going to get killed anyway in the wild. Better bring in some money into the community. That's one argument. The other argument is no, we should not have any big game hunting, and instead we should just give money to these communities. Well, guess what? The people who say that don't put up. So the people who are putting up are the people who are the hunters. Anyway, that's the debate. That's
Who
a debate that
cares?
can be had.
Is
Okay,
that
great.
an option?
Excuse me. Here's a debate topic from Ken Rear. He says, "Are hoppy beers or IPAs ruining beer?" I would love to have that. We got Zach Waldman. If Zach's still here, we should have Zach pop on too. Can you date someone with the opposite political beliefs? Kelly, that sounds like a you topic.
Yes.
Did you recommend that?
Yes, I think that's totally fine.
Witches against Trump. That was a headline I was going to bring in. I saw a bunch of witches casting spells.
That's a
against Trump.
stupid question, by the way.
What?
The opposite political beliefs.
Why?
Well,
Because
no,
what you consider to be opposites, quote unquote, is just two variants of the same
a classic conservative versus a classic liberal.
What does that even mean? Classic.
They're both wrong, and Ruck is wrong.
No, they're both mixed economy, big government, pragmatists like Maddox, and some are a bit more progressive and rushing us into a third world hellhole. Okay. But they're both basically the same. United they stand.
Does a Boy Scout have to be a boy? That was another topic that we were going to debate at some point.
Is that a semantic debate, or is it asking what their policy should be?
What their policy should be, yeah.
They now
Hey, there he is. We got Zach Waldman back in the room with his IPA beer. Do women face worse harassment online? We got a topic here. I had a bunch of just news articles in here too. Is virtual sex cheating? Is video game sex cheating? We did have that debate. Yeah, we did have that debate.
You know, most of my tenure here is a big blur. Like, I barely remember any of it. But one of the few things, I'm sorry, am I allowed to speak, or are we still going through this list?
Oh, no, please, go on.
One thing I remember was I made a comment when therapist Kelly was here saying, like, well, sometimes you might meet somebody who's not on the same level as you intellectually, but you might get something else essential from them, and it's a great relationship. And the way that was interpreted was like, oh, Rucka's into bimbos. He's into dumb women. And for the rest of the show, I was being painted a certain way. That's one of the few things I remember to this very day.
I think I remember that, actually.
Yeah. Interesting.
So are you still into bimbos? Or?
Yes,
Okay,
clearly.
Okay, are you done, Rucka? Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm sorry for disturbing your list of topics we're not debating to actually provide some personal insight on something.
Oh, great. Okay, so on the final show of a debate
to bring
podcast,
this up next week.
You won't get a fucking chance again, and I can't tell these debate topics of these 17 pages of work that I did. No one will ever know. That's the thing.
True, very true.
That's true.
No one will ever see anything you worked on because you never release anything.
I release tons of shit, and I just never get credit for it from Papa Rucka.
You never get credit because you don't release it.
Should we allow monopolies?
The game?
No, not the game, Uncle Rucka.
Well, I think you need to define it because I understood it as the game.
The concept is older than the game, so don't call me Uncle Ruckus because you're the one who's.
When I say monopolies, do you think it means multiple versions of the game?
Should we let kids play this game?
That's not what.
Do you know the creator of the board game Monopoly didn't believe in intellectual property? She was some kind of communist, but she registered the game for her own intellectual property. Interesting, isn't it? She's like the Maddox of her time.
Oh, yeah, exactly like Maddox of her time. Fucking Rucka. Leroy Patterson. Great guest. He's been on America's Got Talent a number of times, I believe, in different versions around the world, too, where he does a belly flop on a bunch of thumbtacks. Look up this video online. It's ridiculous. He's into, like, wrestling and stuff like that. Anyway, he's, Kelly, like you, one of the guests who came in with actual debate topics, and his were great. He suggested, should your career be ruined by what you say? Is it healthy to block those wait, what is this? The toy. Okay, this is about toys here. Oh, Mystery Science Theater 3000 is the new version as good as the old episodes. Should algorithm-based censorship be used to prevent live murder from appearing on social media? That's very fascinating because that's kind of happening already. That's, Facebook can have a kind of a real-time filter in place to see if there's any kind of blood or violence that's happening. You can see that very shocking stuff on there. Is the Marvel Cinematic Universe the greatest thing to ever happen to film? Let's see. Is watching Game of Thrones from the first season totally necessary? Drug test the 1% with tax breaks? I don't even know what that debate would be.
I know what the debate is.
What?
Well, if we're not taxing them, that's the same as giving them money. So should we drug test them to make sure, because they're on welfare, right? We want to make sure they're not.
That would be a
I knew
debate.
where that stupid question was.
Why do you think it's stupid?
To you, that's like an intelligent question.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
Me not taking your laptop away is like me giving you a laptop. So should I drug test you now to make sure you're not going to pawn that for crack?
If we're drug testing people on welfare, what about drug testing people on corporate welfare? What about corporations?
Corporate welfare is not the same as what was it? Not taxing or tax breaks or something?
Should we drug test the 1% with tax? Excuse me. So if the 1% have tax breaks, should we drug test them the same as we drug test people on welfare?
What does that mean if they have tax breaks? You mean if they're getting taxed less than 100%? I don't know what that means if they're getting tax breaks.
So if you get a special privilege of a tax break, for having a certain income level or working in a certain industry, subsidies, for example.
Oh, okay.
For being a farmer. A farmer with subsidies is equivalently getting... Zach, you
No,
have
again,
me, right?
Maddox, please stay with me here. I know you went to a public school and you never graduated from college, but please stay with me here. And that is to your credit that you never graduated college because you retained some of your thinking capacity for this reason. You just lump together subsidies with tax breaks as though they're one and the same.
Oh, they're not one and the same,
Giving
but it's a
somebody
type of
a
welfare.
subsidy is not the same as refraining from mugging them.
Oh, yeah.
You know how?
So,
who
oh
was
my
it?
God.
Benfer that had to give
here
his
we
phone
go.
away? Was that if they had left him alone, would that be the same as them giving him a phone?
You act like this is like such a bullshit argument. Like, oh, taxes are robbery. Taxes are highway robbery. Taxes are burglary. It's not, because you can enforce taxation with things other than violence or prison. And those things can be like, I don't know, denying you a passport or denying you a driver's license. There's other
telling
incentives.
you where you may travel. That's not force.
Well, that's what our whole fucking border is. Our country's border is like telling people where they can and can't go. Every country's got a border. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, Trump.
Sorry.
I told you. My New Year's prediction, whatever year it was,
Okay.
Maddox will grow to
There we
love
go.
his favorite president himself.
Management
Why
theories.
isn't Mikey here? We needed Mikey.
Yeah, it would be nice to have Mikey.
He'll probably stumble.
He said he was a maybe. I think he had something going on today. Same with Kirk Wilcox and Dreadmere. We couldn't have him, unfortunately. For-profit
We got
schools.
Rucka. We don't need to have here.
Oh, for-profit school?
For-profit school.
Like a private school now?
No, like
this is a debate.
I mean, I guess, but more like
University of Phoenix.
University of
online.
Phoenix. That sort of thing.
So you want to open a college, and now we get to debate if you can open a goddamn college? Now it's up to us?
No, are they a good idea? For-profit
Good
school?
idea for who? Whom?
Why don't you tell
Who's
me?
educated now? I said whom.
Yeah.
I guess the students.
What do you think, Zach? Zach looks like he's got something to say.
I thought you wanted my opinion on IPAs.
Yeah. All right, Zach Waldman, what is your opinion on IPAs? Because the debate was, are IPA beers ruining beers?
No, they're good. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. There's I don't know, you don't have headphones on, you don't have cans on, but...
I do not have cans on.
Rucka wants you to define IPA.
An IPA is, a hoppy tasting beer. Indian Pale Ale.
That's right.
That's
It
characterized
says it right on
by
there.
a massive amount of hops that are used in the recipe. They're usually more popular with American drinkers, and
Usually higher in alcohol content, too.
I mean, I was making
if
fun
you-
of Rucka.
if you're interested in alcohol content,
Not
you can
cool.
skip beer and just go straight to like liquor, Like I think IPAs they're creating one flavor profile for the American consumer where now you go into stores and it's like double IPA, triple IPA, fuck your mom IPA. Like they're so talking about like we have the biggest and best IPA and it's actually killing your taste buds so that you could only taste IPA. It's like the guy who only puts hot sauce on every food. It's like you know what,
you're
not
Ron?
getting flavor.
I don't
Are
like
you
the way
getting
you said
spec- No, Maddox, let me finish my thought. I forgot. You're the guy who puts hot sauce on every food. That's my other favorite thing
You
about
make your own deodorant, but you don't make your own beer.
Actually, yeah, I do.
Of course you have his own.
We're naming it after our dog. Our dog's name is Ladybug. We call her Bug, so the beer is going to be called Bug Juice. And I was going to make some, and I was going to give some to all my friends, and everyone's going to get some except for Taylor.
Hey, I like that.
Just kidding. You're going to get some.
We got some more
I kind of want to
debate.
try your deodorant, by the way.
Oh, by the way,
Did you try it?
I'm wearing it right now. So if I stink today, you can blame Ron. And Ron, okay, I got mixed.
Okay.
I got mixed.
Yeah, I got mixed right back at you.
Okay.
Have you been using it more than one day?
No, because I went out on a date earlier in the week, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna roll the dice on a date.
That's true.
Right, but I did put it on today, Ron, and I got some real fucking mixed feedback for you. Okay, so far, I feel comfortable, and I don't smell.
This is a hot
Do I smell?
fucking
Yeah.
room right now.
Yeah.
So this is a good test subject.
It's a hot.
You're great.
Thank
so
you.
I got to try this.
Thank you, Kelly.
I mean, I'm wearing it and I'm not sweating.
Well, I didn't know you made deodorant. What are the benefits of your deodorant?
It's
Why wouldn't I just go buy deodorant? I mean, this has been around.
Aluminum, all this chemicals that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, that shit's. Yeah, it works at basically giving you cancer.
Yeah.
And you could do shit that doesn't give you, like these micro doses of cancer that we keep giving ourselves. It's 3 ingredients. It's coconut oil, organic cornstarch, and baking soda. And that's it. And you put it together. The only thing that sucks is in the hot weather like this, it does get a little melty. Right. So you just like keep it in your fridge, which I know is weird.
No,
Okay.
I'm down.
You're down?
I would totally try it.
Okay, well, So, Ron.
Funny, I was going to hit on you, but not now if you're going to start wearing that deodorant.
I'm down.
So I had the deodorant set next to my other deodorant in my closet, and I go to use it today, and it's separated. There's a little pool of oil at the top. So I took it real quick, and I just really shook it hard.
A little bit of a stir.
I got it in there, and then I'm like putting the stuff on me, and the jar. First of all, the jar is not big enough than more than two of my fingers, and I'm like basically I'm finger blasting this jar of deodorant. And I pull it out, and it's like the consistency of evaporated milk that's been diluted with water. So I pull it out, and it looks like it too.
It melts when you put it on anyway, but it does make it weird. I get it.
Do you sell this, or is this just for you?
No, Kelly, this is just for me, man.
It's
one of my many weird little things.
Promoting you pretty
Very
well.
Tyler Durden of you.
I'm a weirdo when it comes to I don't know, man. I'm a fucking hippie, so I just like using anything that I could just do on my own where I don't need too much other stuff.
Ron, I put this on under my armpits, and the application needs some work.
With your fingers?
Yeah, with my fingers. So I'm like rubbing the shit, and like I'm finger blasting my armpits. Where's Christina when you need her?
What do you put on? You should just slap it on and rub it in?
Your whole fucking. So I did with my palm and everything, and then I'm done, and I got both my hands completely greasy. And
you just rub that shit on your chest. You got hair.
I'm not gonna, but then I put my shirt on. And I'm like, am I gonna have like grease stains under my shirt?
Grease stains on it. You're gonna be fine.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't know about you, because again, this is like a special test case. I was like, who's the hairiest, most sweatiest person I know?
That's me.
Yeah.
Rucka, do you find that this podcast was a search for truth?
Yes.
And do you think that we made progress on this show in our search for truth?
Well, if you had any principles, and if you
he's answered your question.
Well, yeah. Right. I knew you were going to say some shit about principles, weren't you?
No.
So you believe in truth? Do you believe in objective truth?
Hold on. Do you believe in truth? That right there is you're stealing concepts. You're stealing concepts.
What do you mean?
Do you believe in truth? I'll have to come back.
Do you think truth exists? Maybe that's a better way to frame it.
Truth is a concept to denote that which is confirmed by reality. Saying does truth exist is like saying does existence. It's like saying does existence exist.
Right.
It's somewhat different.
So you're not a moral relativist in any way. You're not. You believe there are objective answers to all questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have another debate topic. Is open carry possible? So open carry versus police. This is interesting because it says you can't have both. When you have cops arrive at a scene and there's a shoot-off, they don't know who the good guy is or the bad guy is. I've made this point on Twitter a few times. But if you have, the good guy with a gun scenario, when the police show up, and by the way, if there are multiple, quote, good guys with a gun in a bar, everyone's kind of shooting, and in the chaos, in the fog of war in a bar scene, and this actually happened in the Las Vegas shooting a couple of years ago, where the shooter was sniping people. There was so much chaos, they thought there were multiple shooters. The sound of the bullets were echoing all over the place. Some people had guns, some people didn't. And some guy who was a devout gun owner, who was all for open carry, came out and said, oh yeah, I've completely made an about face. I've reversed my policy on open carry, because he said that when he went to his trailer to get his gun, he looked around and he thought, I don't know who the shooter is. So if I see someone else with a gun, I might shoot an innocent bystanders accidentally, and that's actually happened multiple times. So that's an interesting debate, I think, to have. Open carry, is it even possible with police?
When you said open carry, I thought you were talking about booze. And I was like,
what do you mean, is it possible? It exists already. There's places you can open carry.
Well, sure, but what's
Arizona,
the point?
Utah, right?
But what's the point?
I think what he's saying is not whether it should be something that exists.
Yeah.
Most people will tell you that you'd rather not have people knowing whether or not you have a firearm. So even if you're allowed to open carry, concealed carry is a better option. You don't want to advertise to everybody, hey, I've got a gun and here it is. So I just think from a practical point of view, it's just not a good idea to open carry. I think it's kind of badass though that you could do it. It's like the cowboy movie.
Can we?
It's pretty cool.
Can we also open carry also include guys who walk around with snakes on their neck?
Yeah, man. Fuck
those guys where they're just like, the most interesting thing about me is the pet that I own.
Yeah.
They're just like walking down the park, be like, check out my snake. Fuck those guys, man. I just like. Fuck those guys.
Should we ban or encourage school uniforms? Are single-sex schools good for education? Should university education be free? Is validation stifling creativity on the internet? These are all huge debates.
What was that last one?
Is validation stifling creativity on the internet?
Validation?
So, for example, if you make a tweet, and a lot of creators will do this, they'll make a tweet or an Instagram post. If it doesn't get a lot of response, a lot of feedback, then they'll just delete it. So that could be a way of self-censorship, right? So that's something that I forgot to know. So,
Self-censorship now.
Yeah, self-censorship.
Everything-
The biggest type of censorship, Rucka.
It's amazing. The guy who doesn't actually, like the guy who uses force, like the language of force when it doesn't apply, then it turns a blind eye to actual force being used against people. It's so interesting how conflating things actually works like a charm with you.
What?
Should parents be
He knows what I
responsible
said.
for their Should parents be responsible for their children's discipline problems? Should bullies be held responsible if it results in a victim's death? Is it better to date someone intelligent or attractive? I think that was one of yours, Kelly. Yeah. Should all nations have the right to nuclear weapons? Should we reintroduce corporal punishment in schools? Should there be a fat tax? Do ghosts exist? Is it rude? Is it rude to ask people how much money they make? Should we openly? Why? Okay, we got Brad in the room. He says yes over there.
I mean, how much money do you get paid to make no content?
Yeah, fuck you, Rucka.
What?
Is it rude to ask people? Okay, wait. Should we openly discuss our income? Should we talk about how much money we make? NIH plans to lift a ban on chimera and animal-human mixed embryos or hybrids. That's another big one, which I know, Rucka, like you're not even nearly equipped to debate that one.
Very true. Very true.
Italy to imprison vegan parents for malnutrition. I think that's a great idea.
I had a bunch of goddamn vegans move into my neighborhood.
Some vegans. Man, there's just so many here. Like I said, there's 17 pages of this shit. Tim Burton had some controversy about white people. I think he was trying to tell a story about like black people, and people were like, "Well, you're not black, so you can't tell that story." There is
great debate.
Yeah, it is a big debate.
What?
You go, okay, so on one hand, if everyone is all about diversity and wants some more representation in Hollywood, so you want to tell more experiences, more black stories, right? More experiences about black Americans or the black experience, right, in America. But if a white person tries to do that, they'll say, well, A, it's cultural appropriation. B, you don't have the cultural frame of reference. C, you're taking jobs away from black people, black storytellers. So it's a controversial thing, and it's also like a double-edged sword. So the solution is then what? You either have to...
white guy sit this one out and let Spike Lee direct a movie.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm curious about, like the Paul Feigs of the world who are all about we should... Paul Feig is the guy who created the female Ghostbusters. And he also did Bridesmaid.
My hero.
Yeah, and he's like, well, we need more female... we need... we need more female directors, right? So I'm like, okay, but Paul Feig, the white knight, this ally of women, this champion of female causes, why aren't you stepping down from your fucking job and giving it to a woman? I mean, it's interesting that it's like easy to say we need more female directors, but it's much harder to say I'm going to give my job to a female director. Like, why aren't you doing that? Put your money where your mouth is. Like, yeah, everyone wants representation, but what are you... Like, are you the guy
but
who's
it's
willing
kind of like a catch-22, because if he directs a movie, and it's like, well, why don't you have more women in your movie? And then he does a movie that has a lot of women in it, and then it's like, well, why aren't you letting a woman direct it? Like, I mean, I feel like no matter what he does, like, somebody's going to shit on him. I don't even know that much about the story, but I just feel like whenever anybody tries to do something good, everyone is always like, well, what about this? It's like nothing is ever fucking good enough.
It's a bottomless barrel.
Most people's idea of diversity is people that all look different but think exactly the same way.
That's a really good point, Zach. I think that, like, if you really believe the idea of Martin Luther King, which I do, which is we shouldn't judge someone by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, then you have to look at their character. Just because someone is black doesn't necessarily mean they've lived a black experience, or Armenian. I'm Armenian, but I have a very white cultural point of view. I wasn't really exposed to Armenian culture until I came to California. I met Armenians in the wild for the first time in California.
Their natural habitat.
It's called Glendale. It's called Glendale.
Yeah, it's called Glendale. Fucking keep making jokes, idiots.
By the way, the point you just made about how people say, like, oh, we need more women directors, but then he doesn't want to give up his position and give it to a woman. That's how I look at you every time you make an argument. When you're like, oh, we're just forced this one guy to do something. You're not the one being forced to do anything. You're not the one having your property taken. You're not the one being told what to do. You work in an industry that is completely unregulated. Basically, you can say whatever you want in your little videos and your little books, but you're sitting here debating over how to engineer the rest of society. So that's how I look at you. You're not the one who's going to be forced to do anything, but you love playing with other people's lives.
You're right.
They're your
right,
personal
Rucka.
action figures.
I should be silenced from this debate.
Correct.
Should hate crimes be treated differently? That's another big debate. We gotta. What do you think, Zach?
The white guy here says
there's no such thing as a hate crime. It's retarded.
But legally, I mean, okay. Don Caldwell, one of the most interesting guests we've had on the show, gave a bunch of, like you, Kelly, he gave a bunch of debate topics. Is social media ruining political discourse online? Can the fake news problem be solved with flagging and censorship? Should we welcome or suppress anonymous communities like 4chan? Then we got one from Dreadmere. Is hookup culture ruining dating? Which we actually had that debate with Dreadmere. Kelly, were you on that episode?
No, that sounds fascinating to me.
By the way, we still got Robert Benfer and Bradley Laberman in the studio. And is anyone else in the green room? Okay, we got.
I remember. I remember Dreadmere. Dreadmere was he was like super kind of collected and stuff. He was like his first time on. He was kind of like thoughtful and picking his words wisely. And from what I've heard, from what he's told me, he's become like the biggest shitlord in the Madcast universe. The callers hate him. People are pissed off by everything he said.
I think I would say he was picking his words wisely.
No, the first time, way back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have. I saved this.
I'm saying he's become like he went from being this very mild mannered guest to becoming like the biggest.
Well, what happened? Did he just like feel comfortable and stayed his opinions?
He realized the people listening are not that smart. No offense. And they don't deserve his respect.
It's so tough for us to keep up with Dreadmere when we actually bring out any specific thing. He's like, "Well, people will deal with that," and then he just moves on. And I'm like, "Well, what about that thing I just said? But what about this?" And I'm like, "All right."
I saved so many voicemails for Dreadmere. They're so much fun. The callers love picking on Dreadmere. Here's one. I don't even remember. I don't know what this says, but it's just one I saved for Dreadmere from like 10 episodes back. Listen to this.
Holy shit, Dreadmere, I actually agree with you on literally anything. Your point on the car mods and shit hits really close to home for me because I live in middle buttfuck nowhere, and we have these truck guys who jack up their trucks and act like they're all hot shit because they put tens of thousands of dollars into their trucks just to drive around and act like douchebags.
Okay, so that guy agrees with Dreadmere. Here's one shitting on him. This guy is the grumpy Guatemalan. Listen to this.
Hey, Lord Maddox. Grumpy Guatemalan here, calling in again. Once again, Dreadmere reveals how fucking retarded him and his ideology is yet again. Even when you gave him the quote, a perfect, actual, reasonable example of China's pollution affecting, the United States, it completely blew his fucking mind because that's how retarded that way of thinking brings you.
All right, there's a lot of those, and then here's another one. It's about Dreadmere's argumentation style.
Dreadmere, bro, I totally respect you and everything. But I was gonna say, when the last debate happened about you know what it is. Anyway, I got a lot of respect for you, bro, and all your opinions. They're totally great, but they just don't work out in real life, man.
Anyway, there's just a ton of these. I saved them all for Dreadmere, but he couldn't make it, unfortunately. Dreadmere's got a new job. Congratulations, Dreadmere. But we should wrap up the show. We're starting to get a little long in the tooth on this episode. I really appreciate everyone for making it into the studio. We had so many people stop by. We had Allie Spagnola stop by just for a hot second. She couldn't. She just stopped in to say hey, but couldn't stay. She's shooting a YouTube video. That girl works her ass off. Follow her on Twitter. She does
follow her example, Maddox.
Yeah, I do. All I do is fucking work. I just never get credit
more
for it.
of her videos than on your own.
If you worked as hard as talking shit at making content, Rocky, you'd be 10 times more successful.
That's
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's a Rucka wrap up.
How about that?
Yeah.
Let's see. We got. I think I played all the voicemail. Oh, here's a nice voicemail. I want to end things on kind of a nice voicemail here. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. Just calling to talk about that Philly cheesesteak you brought up last week. I know you said about the whole thing, but here's a real tip for you. If you ever go to Philadelphia, first, don't ever get the shitty bullshit fucking cheese whiz. Get it with American cheese and onions, and get it from Jim's. Fuck Pat's and Geno's. Those places suck. There's also a couple other places you can hit a real cheesesteak. Those ones at Pat's and Gino's fucking blow. But anyway, I know it's your last show next week, and I'm kind of sad about it. I just started listening like maybe, 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, and I absolutely fucking love your show, man. And I can't wait to see what you have coming up. Fuck whales, punch a fucking Nazi, and good luck in your future endeavors.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Did we? Is that the second time we played that voicemail, or is that the first one?
That was the first time.
That's the first time. Thank you guys so much for all the voicemails, the support over the years. I want to thank Taylor, Mikey Bolts, Rucka.
Yeah. Was the caller talking to Dreadmere when he said, your ideas are great, but they don't work in real life?
Yeah, he was talking to Dreadmere, please go on about this point you want to make during the...
Well, by what standard are you judging if they work, quote unquote?
His own life experiences.
Oh, how does he evaluate his experience?
Oh my God! By this argument, it's like we can't decide anything. When you go on like,
yes, you're right. By this argument, you can't decide anything if you don't interpret reality with rational principles.
Is good or bad because Dreadmere says shit, and you're like, okay, bro, how does this actually fucking work? And he's like, well, people will figure it out. It's like, no. How does it fucking work? Like, tell me how this is gonna work because like you have these grandiose ideas of how we should all be living, and then when you get down to it, like, okay, cool, I got a pen and paper, so how are we actually gonna fucking do this? Like, well, the point is that people need to realize, and it's
because you want him to be omniscient and tell you exactly what move everyone is going to play. It's like you want him to play a giant game of chess with everyone. He's saying the game of chess needs to have rules so that you can only move in this direction or that direction, and if everyone abides by those principles, then the game works. But you're saying, oh no, tell me exactly what move everybody's going to make.
What you're saying is that everything needs to be like, you're going to like, well, basically everybody needs to think like this.
No.
And if everybody thinks like this, then everything will be okay. You have this like kind of this core philosophy, and our point is that other people have core philosophies that are different.
Oh my God. This is what happens when you think philosophy is detached from reality.
Principles. Core principles. I know you're thinking of what word I'm
What you're saying right now is an abstract statement. You're using concepts and words, so you're referring to reality. Hold on. Let me get a word. Reality is our frame of reference.
I know you barely got the talk.
Exactly.
Reality is our frame of reference. So you're saying it doesn't work, and I'm saying by what standard does it not work, or by what standard does it work or not work? Obviously, if something coheres with reality and gets the goals that you're pursuing, then it does work. Right?
Yeah, okay, but it's like there has to be, if I say...
Hey, real quick, sorry to interrupt.
I know you were wrapping up the whole show for the whole thing.
Forever.
But Ruck and I really want to pound one out.
Yeah, okay. Why don't you guys pound each other?
Hey, before we wrap up, I do want to give one final
Babcock tip,
one
right?
final Babcock tip.
What about that?
That's what I was going to mention because I just in the nick of time, Hooked on Montana sent us the Babcock tip drop, which he's been working on for a while. He got it in just at the buzzer. This is the first time we're going to hear this.
This is great.
Ever. Okay. So this is it. Let's hear it for the first and last time, the Babcock tip. Here it is.
It's the Babcock tip.
It's just the tip.
Whoa.
Wow.
Holy cow, dude. That's really good.
I literally have like goosebumps. I have chills. That was gorgeous.
That was so fucking cool,
and
dude.
I love that fucking like 70s style PBS, outros like WKPC. Like,
yeah, man.
All right, here it is. Here's the final tip. It's super simple. Just keep $20 in an envelope in your car.
Hey, okay, that's a pretty simple tip.
$20 in an envelope. Keep it in your trunk. Keep it in your glove box. Just always have $20. Definitely not just a 20, but like a 10, a 5 ones, because it will come a time in your life where you will need cash and you won't have cash. And if you have cash, it will solve a very immediate problem. For instance, when you go to a valet and it's like, fuck, I just need to park my car. And they're like, sorry, it's cash only. And you're like, I don't fucking have cash. And they're like, it's cash only. That's when you reach into your glove box and you're like, no, I got $20. Because $20 is enough money where it can fix a lot of minor inconveniences in your life. I do it, and it has helped me a bunch of times, and it will help you too.
It's the Babcock tip.
That is so cool.
Or maybe $40 if Tom Likas is going on a date.
That's right.
Maximum $40. Yeah. Robert and Bradley, they've been sitting so patiently waiting for us. Can you guys hop on and say a final note too as we wrap up the show? We got Robert and Bradley. Thank you guys, and hang out for a second. Yeah, we'll wrap up here in just a second.
While they're sitting, I just wanted to say 3 more things: Minnesota, pickleball, and Bitcoin.
Thank you, Taylor. Classic Taylor commentary. We got a clusterfuck going on here in the studio. There we go. Robert Benford back on mic, and Bradley Laberman. Thank you guys for stopping by.
What are we debating about?
Oh man, you guys missed a lively one with Rucka and Ron.
Well, Robert.
Okay, here we go.
Just as
when should we end the show? Now?
that is the debate. What do you? I'll let you have the final word, Rucka. Go ahead.
Final word.
Just
as when you deal with chemicals in the science lab, you adhere to strict principles, so too with pursuing any values. There are values that further your life qua human being, and there are values that are arbitrary and might seem like a short-term value, but they are not unless they enhance and preserve your life. So that's all I'm saying. There is a rational standard. And you can say, oh, but some people believe something different. Well, they're wrong. So you should go with what is rational. You go by your judgment. Go with your observation. Thank you.
I know.
It's a Rucka wrap-up.
There it is. All right. Thank you, Rucka.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
I want to say thank you to all the people who've made the show possible over the years, going all the way back to episode number 1. I started the show with Sean, the audio engineer. I want to say thank you to Sean. Sean did some good work on the show. It was a lot of fun when the show first started out, and I experimented, and the show's format has changed over time. I started out as it was going to be just me debating myself. I learned very quickly it turned into an intellectual jerk-off, and it wasn't as much fun, and I would much rather debate other people, and that's what the show eventually became. And that's why I started having guests on every episode. We've done 138 episodes. I can read some interesting stats. Oh, and I have the final results of last week's debate, which is what's the goofiest, dumbass regional food. That was a fun one. We had coming in dead last was fry sauce. No, it wasn't. It was Chinese food. Yeah, take that, Kirk Wilcox. It was Chinese food, the region of China.
I mean, he's into like Panda Express, so what the fuck does he know about Chinese food?
Yeah, exactly. He mentioned Panda Express. Yeah. Followed by fry sauce. Okay, you guys are wrong. Then the Juicy Lucy, but the number one goofiest, dumbass regional food was the Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Wow, a big fuck you to Philadelphia as we're ending this episode, as we're ending the show. Here's some quick stats. So I know last episode I said I think I had like 3.5 million downloads and then 4 million or 5 million, whatever. I just looked it up because the numbers of this show are distributed along 3 different platforms. Libsyn, which is where we syndicate the podcast. YouTube as well, which is the video version, which some people only watch the video version. SoundCloud is another one. And then there's like all these other disparate places. There's like Podbean and Stitcher and whatever. But, I did some math. We got about 6 million downloads. At its highest, this podcast reached number 84 on the iTunes Top 100 list. So, yeah, and we did that organically. No shenanigans, no vote brigading, none of that bullshit. We did that organically. I'm very proud of that. We've had some amazing guests on the show. We had Chris Reagan, Blair White. We had Destiny on. We had Aaron Hansen, Ego Raptor.
Me.
We had Robert Benford in studio, Bradley Laberman, Zach Waldman, Ron. We got to get Ron back on too before we
Ron,
we
you
wrap
just
up the
kicked
show.
him off out of the studio when we're about to wrap up.
Okay,
no. Hold, Taylor, please. Keep your well, I'm sorry. One of you 3 need. Oh, yeah, just chill here.
Well, yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah, and you guys are on. Let's see. Let me make sure you guys are on cam when we.
We're on cam.
Yeah. Well, if you scoot just a little bit to your right, Rucka, then we can get all.
Slavery was over.
Okay. We got Stan Morris in the chat room. Thank you, Stan, for always moderating and being there. Stan's a great guy. Stan has also broken this amazing story about a former senator who was murdered. Like, this is national news. Stan broke the story. It's amazing stuff. Follow NEA Report on Facebook. Make sure to check out robertbenford.com, zachwaldman.com, Bradley Laberman. We got to check out your show coming out next week on Amazon. Brenda Live or whatever is the name of it.
Yep.
Rucka, of course, Rucka's World. Subscribe to Rucka on his YouTube channel. It's Rucka. Rucka? It's Rucka is the name of the channel, right?
Who cares? Just look me up.
And Taylor Nikolai, of course.
Nikolai. That's how you spell Nikolai.
Okay.
The fuck?
Yeah, I know. Zach is like itching himself. He's getting hives from that song. Same thing happens to me, buddy. Yeah, this has been a long show, long episode, long run, good run. I've had a lot of fun doing this show.
Been interesting.
It has been interesting.
You guys want to wrestle?
Yeah.
Nope.
Thanks for inviting me on. It was exciting at that time.
Yeah, right. You were the first ever guest of the show, right? Episode number 2.
Episode 2, and then you moved on to other guests, and then you brought me back on.
That's right. And Ron, I think you were on an early episode with Lord Matthew.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's right.
Yeah,
Ron.
exactly. I was one of that. I think I was actually one of the very you said you only had a couple guests on at the time, and I was like kind of nervous because I was like, oh, people actually listen to this. You know, like a lot of comedy podcasts, you do get 100 downloads. And I know you guys were getting 200 downloads. So
yeah,
pretty big deal.
So when the podcast, I think near its height, we were getting around 60,000 downloads a week. But some stuff changed around November of 2017, something like that. They changed the way that the podcast numbers are calculated. So all podcasts across the board took about a 2/3 drop. So now what was once 60,000 is about 15,000. So if you're getting around 15,000 downloads, that's the equivalent.
I thought it was the election happened and then a third of your audience committed suicide.
Why? Because was that a debate?
I don't know. I was just.
You're making a Hillary joke. Okay.
You're a cuck.
There you go, Rocky. You got. You know what? That was totally authentic.
That was a good zinger. Jesus Christ! You're acting like the most seasoned comedian on earth. Yeah.
We got. Oh, you know what? We still have a bunch of super chats to read. Stan Morris, thank you, Stan. He sent 2 super chats for 99 cents each. Thank you, Stan Morris. Apostles Constantino for €2 says, well played, Rucka. This is how moderating is done.
Put the headphones on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got the headphones. Hooked on Montana says, might be way too late, but I just sent you the Babcock tip drop for $5. Hope you like it, Ron.
Thanks, man. It was awesome.
It was really cool. We really appreciate that. Hooked on Montana again. Damn, even I get a shout out on this episode. Thank you, Dirk. Dirk gave a shout out to Hooked on Montana and Pavich Babin, longtime caller of the show, Pavich Babin. We got a super chat from Neil, and we got a super chat from Free Cat for $2. There it is. All right, guys. Anyway, we should wrap up the show. I have one of my longtime traditions on the show is to end things with callers fucking up. So listen to after the credits. After the credit music plays, we'll be having I put together a long montage, like a 2-minute montage of callers fucking up, and that's not even all of them. I had over 80 different calls fucking up, and they were, it would have lasted 15 minutes or so if I played all of them back to back. But I got some of the best in here. Guys, this has been a sincere pleasure. I am flattered. I am honored to have done this podcast. I am very thankful to you, the listeners, who have supported us week after week. I know a lot of you guys, it's been bittersweet. I got some messages. Oh, shit, yeah, I got some messages on Facebook, too, that I was going to read. I got one. I'll see if I can pull this up before we wrap up the show. But I've gotten so many voicemails over the years from people who said they've been going through tough times. They've been having, dark periods in their lives. And
Sounds like they want attention. Isn't that something you would say, I was going through a tough time, and you changed?
No, I believe it, because I've definitely... Okay, you're making another joke there.
No, I mean, I get these emails. You never know what to believe.
Well, that's true.
Just saying.
Yeah, that is true. Let's see.
I don't want, by the way,
I
don't think a podcast should be anyone's lifeline, If you're going through some tough times, really, ask for help and get to work.
I'll agree with that, Rucka. Here you go. Here's a ding for you. Okay, I think I found this message here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Hey, I came...
Rucka just doesn't want any fun. He's just
That's right. I don't
no
want any
fun.
No fun.
No fun allowed.
No fun.
He's the fun blocker. It's where fun is the cock. This one's from Matt Sweenberg. It says, hey, Maddox, I came across the Best Debate podcast last summer, the Best Monster Movie episode. Who did we have on? I think we had Hannah Banana on for that episode, I think, right? And immediately went back and listened to them all as I drive around a lot from work, and so typically have a great deal of time to to myself on my hands. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to put this show together for the last few years. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and the best debate is the top of my list, no contest. I haven't gotten to this week's debate yet, but word is the show is about to come to an end. I'm so sad to hear that if it's true, but you've taken the show as far as you wanted and aren't getting anything else out of it, so it's good to go out on a high note, I suppose. I must ask, though, back when Rucka was around, you guys were tossing around the idea of debating the best way to kill Terminator. That's right, Rucka. Any chance of that topic seeing the light of day before you hang up the gloves? Thanks again, dude. Been a fan since the early 2000s when we'd crowd around my buddy's computer in his basement, read your articles, and laugh our asses off. Do you have another podcast aside from Podcast Zero in the works, or will you be focusing on your YouTube content moving forward? So a number of questions. I will be focusing on my YouTube content and writing. I don't know if I'll be doing another podcast anytime soon. If I do, probably at some point in the future. I definitely just need a break from podcasting. I want to work on other things. Podcasting is super fun, but it becomes all you do if you let it, and it's been 10 to 12 hours a week of my life every week for years now, and that's time I could spend working on other things. It's not that this isn't enjoyable and it's not a fun thing to do. I've had so many guests reach out to me say that this was the most fun they've had on a podcast, and Sean used to say that too when he was on the show. This is a really fun podcast to do. I just love hanging out with my friends, and when I don't do it, I feel kind of like a little bit empty when my Saturdays aren't doing this recording. Because we do get to pal around, we get to drink, go out to eat afterwards, we hang out all day. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a big time commitment.
Well, something you're going to realize is that fulfillment does come from working hard and achieving your goals, so you won't need to hang out with your buddies to feel happy.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Rucka. Very
fun blocker.
Yeah, the fun blocker. Anyway,
I like how I'm the angry Armenian dad who's telling Maddox to do what? Make fun videos for YouTube. Oh, what a fun block this guy.
I'm not disagreeing. I think you're right.
Wrapping up his long podcast in a sentimental way,
I had
and
a
you're
good
just
time
coming
doing
in
the show.
here
I can't wait
trying
to do it
make
again.
fun of him for
That's
being
what he does.
sentimental.
Well, he should be
That's what he
saying,
does.
I'm looking forward to producing content.
I just
Instead, he's
did.
saying, I'm really going to miss hanging out with my buddies
not
all the
in
time.
the show.
Let him be
Because two
sentimental.
things can't exist at the
letting
same
him
time.
be
No, he's not.
sentimental.
No, this is what he fucking does, Rucka.
This is sentimental. This
Yeah.
is what people are feeling nostalgia hearing me shit on his point.
Yeah.
You just have to have the last word on the podcast.
You can just
Hey, here you go, guys.
It's a Rucka wrap up.
You've had like 10 wrap-ups on this episode.
Hey, congratulations on a successful run.
Thank you. It was super fun. I think this
And
podcast...
hold on, I'm not done. And Taylor, Ron, Mikey Bolts, wherever you are, brother man, good job, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Mikey.
Yeah,
What
I
else?
was trying to, Kirk and Dreadmere.
Kirk and Dreadmere, of course. Kirk and Dreadmere have been... Oh, and Mike D. I want to say thanks to Mike D. Mike D was a fantastic guest. He's been on several times, and you introduced me to Mike D.
My
Rucka.
best memory is the Apple debate with Blake Vapes.
Oh, that was so much fun. I was just listening to that episode again. I got some voicemail. Listen to the tail end of the show. We got some one of the caller fuck ups is about that episode. But it's been so much fun. Oh, and I'm also putting together Montage. I'll release this on the Madcast Media channel. Still subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that bell. I'm still going to release content on that channel. I may do more live news episodes at some point in the future.
God, he's acting like, I can't wait to get back to creating content. He's just going to do more podcasts after this.
No, that's not a podcast. But anyway,
very likely there will be another podcast very soon.
Yeah, well, this is the final episode, part 1. No, but we're going to have on the Madcast Media channel, I'm still going to release a montage of all the gifts that we've received over the years. We've got, Angela Morris. We've got Ian McHenry. We've got, so many people. We got the Japanese Sega Saturn. I'm going to put together a montage. I almost had that done in time for today, but we had an earthquake last night, which threw everything off.
Why would that throw everything off?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Zero effect on any of our lives. What are you talking about?
Sorry. I happened to make a video that was very beneficial for people's lives. That was earthquake safety tips.
You did make a video.
I did make a video.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes. Anyway. Let's wrap this up, guys. Again, we're gonna have the bonus episodes coming. You're gonna want to listen to those because I am gonna talk about my leech situation. Very interesting. Yeah, I got some parasites. I got infected with some parasites, and they're still eating my shit.
Typical Armenian.
Yeah. It's an Armenian thing for sure. Anyway, guys, that's it for this show. That's
Thank you for
it
inviting me.
Oh, thank you, Robert Benford. Thank you, Bradley.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you again, Zach Waldman.
Thank you, man. I love you, buddy, and you're the best. Thank you.
Thank
Looking forward to doing it again.
Nope, not gonna happen. Thank you to my dear friends, Ron, Taylor.
We already went through everybody.
Rucka.
And thanked everybody.
No,
We've
but-
been
but-
ending the show for a half hour.
Oh, so sorry, it's taking long
Let's
to end
do
my
it
final
again.
show.
Let's do it one more time.
You know what? Thank you just to Ron and
I'm
Rucka.
gonna put the mic on the table.
But sincerely, you guys have made the show possible. And I tell these guys all the time, I think that they're so much funnier than me. I think most people are funnier than me.
Very true.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's a debate we don't need to have.
Yeah, I'm talking to these dudes, Zach.
Expecting us to be like, oh, no, that's not true.
No, I know you're talking about them. I still agree.
Yeah. Okay. Great. No, these guys are great. You guys, it's a lot of work to do a show, and it takes a lot of chemistry.
I love this humble bragging. He keeps talking about how much work went into this.
Anyway, guys,
I worked really hard on this. I know it took a lot of work, but I did it. I did it every time.
Thank you for listening.
It takes a lot
guys.
of work to
Rucka's still talking.
Work I've done in a while, actually.
Imagine Maddox on Deadliest Catch.
You're listening to the
Talk about
fifth
hard
ending of the
work.
show.
We should thank everybody one more time.
Thank you, everyone. But most of all,
Thank me.
you're welcome.
Bye.
Well, I will say one thing that I did want to hear about Maddox. I've been keeping up with your show for dude, since I was like 14, or I've been keeping up with your website since you were 14. God damn it, I'm not going to use this fucking voice. I'm just going to call back and leave one. Fuck.
Hey guys, I just listened to the podcast with Mike and I thought it was awesome, but oh my god, I'm so happy you guys are talking about the system. Because I want to tell a story for so long. My grandmother, she's been... Fuck. Good evening, Maddox. I'm, fuck.
Maddox, you stupid fucking idiot. Wheezing turns into, fuck. Good afternoon, my Armenian brother. Just calling to give you some fuck. Hey, Maddox, I was, thinking, do you ever tell people, oh, crap.
Maddox, great job on destroying Apple last week. Also, fuck you, Rucka, and fuck Blake for trying to fucking... fuck.
Hi guys, this is Donald Trump calling. I just wanted to say that I think you guys are doing a great job with the show. Fuck.
So, Maddox, I noticed, you had a... Fuck.
Hey, Maddox. Yeah, fuck, I hung up. My grandmother, she's been... Fuck.
God damn it.
God damn it, shit.
You're too...
What is the difference between a dog and a prostitute? You can't get STDs from a dog. Fuck.
Shit, I'm gonna call back.
Fuck.
Ah, fuck. Hey, Madcast. Fuck.
Hey, this message is for Ron. Actually, I'm an avid audiobook listener, so that Bobcat... Fuck! God damn it!
Hey, man, it's been a while before I fucked this one up.
Hey guys, calling back again. Alright, so I fucked up really bad in the first one. But basically... shit. So basically, all I'm saying is that there's tons of signs... fucking shit.
Hey, God, I fucked that up. God damn it. I'm calling back.
Hey Maddox, so Rucka is actually right for once. Evolution is a series of accidents.
Yes.
It's called mutations. Can you just mutate your cells at random? No. It happens. Oh my god, I fucked this call up.
No, you got it.
All right, guys, that's it.
You always put the cart in front of the horse, Maddox.
Oh my gosh, we're still debating.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye.
Madcast Media Network.